I'm a busy man.
I just waited,
you know how many
45 seconds for you to.
Yeah, well.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
It looks like it's on. Okay, we're maybe live. Getting live. Meeting. Cooled. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, we're live.
Should be live.
I can't
All right,
believe
so we're
you
ready
have
to start
check every week. Why do you have to check? Just accept we're live.
Because if something goes wrong, we can fix it before we get started. Don't you think that makes sense?
Yes. Right, just go.
AI?
Yes.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Let's start this motherfucking show, bitch.
Another reference by Duke that no one understands.
Welcome, yo, to the veteran gamers. Stu, Duke, Ginny, other fellas will tell you about every single game that you're playing this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu, story time, and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors. It's the veteran gamers. It's the veteran gamers. It's the veteran gamers.
No fooling! I'm from North Giltown.
Switch that console.
That was a farcical sound
you
effect.
have to press repeat, yo.
I tell them that you said it. They believe that you said it. They don't really believe you said it. They know that you never said it.
Right.
But it's in their interest to say that you said it because.
Hello, and welcome to episode 736 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yay, 736. What's up, people? I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
And I'm Chinny.
And we are not military veterans. We're veterans of the gaming lifestyle, people.
We stream live and we're on the YouTube and Twitch and we're on Patreon and TikTok.
We are on Patreon and we got some questions from the Discord coming up soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Inside Baseball.
I reminded you. You're welcome.
I text the group saying, can we read Discord things? Because I always forget to. And people keep doing it.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
I want to give an early shout out to Space Area. We played some Rocket League games earlier. What?
What indeed. Sorry, I'm still putting games in. I just remembered.
You're still putting
games. You put games in, and we'll talk about important things.
I know. I've done
right,
now. Everything's in.
Come on, let's talk about the thick of it. Did you watch it?
All right, so Chinny insisted that I watch the thick of it, which is a British comedy show about politics. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm thinking like, man, this is a lot like Veep. And you know why? Because the same guy who made Thick of It made Veep as well. Veep is in the U.S., and it's the same basic show. Now, look, it's a very insightful show. It's very biting and acerbic and caustic and accurate in terms of like
and other words that I don't understand.
Well, whatever. Like it's very, it shows people at their worst being terrible. And, there were a number of things that happened in British politics where people were like, oh, this is just like the thick of it. Oh, this is the thick of it showing up in real life, which is fine. I read a review or a part of a review from somebody in The Guardian, a critic named Michael White, who said the show, and again, I recognize a lot of good things. I watched the first season, or the first series, and one episode of the second series, and I've decided I'm done. And this guy says it very well. The thick of it lacks heart, lacks sympathy, lacks good guys, let alone honest ambitions. In that sense, it's the exact opposite of another highly professional show about politics, The West Wing, which is in the U.S. about this, group of people who all have the best of intentions and they do their best and they're all really good people. But this person said, I can't stand The West Wing either. It's too sentimental, just as the thick of it is much too cynical. I can see that it's funny, but I rarely laugh. So I agree with that.
Stu's gone.
The fuck, Stu? Why did he leave? He's like, oh, we're talking about TV shows. I can't take this.
So he'll come back. I don't know.
I assume he had some technical hiccup.
See, I did warn you, Duke, that it's not a show with a lot of positivity.
And that's fine. I don't need a show to have a lot of positivity. The Wire does not have a lot lot of positivity, and you know how much I love The Wire.
Yeah.
It just feels like every episode is just like, do you know what it's like to clean up your mother's piss? It's like, oh God. And he's being terrible toward this woman and she hates him and everybody hates each other. And it's just like, I can only take so much of everybody being god awful all the time. And I'm just
No, well, I understand that, but I love it. I love a show where no one learns a lesson and everybody's back to normal, because
that's fine. And I realize, sorry, go ahead.
Well, you got shows like The Simpsons where everybody learns a lesson,
right.
And then
well, sort of.
Or Friends is a show where, like, at the end, everybody's like, you know what? And Brooklyn Nine-Nine is guilty of this as well. But the problem is, at the start of every episode, the next episode,
Right,
they're back to
right.
square one. So
Exactly.
it
And The
irritates
Simpsons
me.
recognize that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
So Always Sunny is one of my favorite American sitcoms because they are awful and they know they're awful
Right.
and they will never change, and it's
Right.
always
And
that's funny to me.
Right. And I understand that, and that's fine. And I think that, acknowledging the ridiculousness of everybody being right back where they were at the start of the previous episode. I mean, to an extent, that's the requirement of television because you're filming 20 episodes in the US and over there you're filming 6 or whatever, basically concurrently. And so to write a lot of events happening in a season or a series is very difficult. So I recognize that. And I think that, there are some shows that do show evolution of character, and The Simpsons eventually, like Apu had his 9 kids and whatever, but it's very minor that there's these changes of character over
Susan
time.
in the chat says the thick of it is genius. So it is.
I recognize that it's genius.
And also, I don't know, you probably won't watch anymore, but it does get better. It peaks around about season 3, roughly. But what's interesting is which happened in real British politics, is that they had a hung government, right? So the Lib Dems and the Tories had to sort of share. So there's a lot of fun in season 4, which is not the best one, but about like how they, how they struggle with, like, one person has an idea and then the other minister has to implement the idea, and then there's other. So Malcolm Tucker is the main character basically, isn't he, Duke? And he's the enforcer. He's the PM's enforcer. But then you see other Malcolm Tuckers, but they're not like him. They're like very different versions of him. One's like much softer. One's very passive aggressive, and it's just really interesting to see like people that do that very, very stressful job of being the Prime Minister's enforcer and how they go about it and how awful they all are.
Of course.
But yeah, it's great. But yeah, it's just one of the.
And
best.
I think that the thing that ultimately, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get Stu the clip for the Zoom
Stu's
on.
internet's gone off. He's now on his phone, so this is already going to be a shit show. Stu.
I'm sending the Zoom link to
can't
him
hear
on
you, Stu.
WhatsApp.
He's on here. He's on.
Oh, it's connecting to audio right now. So here we go.
Jesus.
Okay.
God.
We can see his nice chest with his strings. Hello, Stu.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Is it?
Yes, we hear you.
It's not
You
bad
look
actually.
great.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
No, well, I'm using my headset,
Oh.
so still got the decent microphone
It's
on
not
it.
terrible.
So,
Hey, we can
Not
keep
terrible.
rolling.
I
We
mean,
made
it's
it.
a little
I'm on
tinnier than
4G.
usual, but
Well,
there's not much you can
it
do.
If your internet
it-
dies,
it-
then you won't
It's
have it.
completely gone off. It doesn't just like my router. Everything's red. Like, because we have Eero, and that's just red. Everything's just literally just shut off.
Well, the thing is, Stu,
The
because
gods
you
of
are
technology hate us.
in the north,
Yeah.
you don't
Move
get
to a better place.
you don't get a lot of electricity over there. do you?
That's fine.
You know.
That's
Well, the hamster
fine.
got tired on the wheel that was
Yeah.
powering his internet.
Oh,
All right, one last thing I'll say
sure.
about the thick of it
Yeah.
is, look, ultimately what I decided is this, because I had,
That's
whatever,
all
every day I have to go into my classroom and try to convince these teenagers that although the world is a shit show and everything is all fucked up, nevertheless, it is worthwhile trying to make things a little better because, as Charles Dickens said, no one's life is useless who can ease the burden of it for someone else. And so they are living lives filled with pain and trauma and suffering and misery and despair. And I have to go in and like push back on all of that and be like, no, look, you can make plans for the future and you should learn some skills so you can help people out and, make life a little less shitty for some people. And even if we can't end the climate crisis, like we can certainly make our lives better in the meantime for ourselves and our families and our friends and our loved ones and other people. And so when I come home, I don't want to decorate the walls of my brain in terms of entertainment with a whole bunch of people being shitty all day. And I need a little Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I need a little, funny, lighter stuff along the way. So maybe at some point I'll watch more of it, but right now I can't do it.
No, well, you obviously think about it a lot, and I don't. I just like the bit where they swear,
That's fine.
And Susan,
I do like a good bit of swearing.
Susan, and it's really creative swearing as well. It's not just. It's just
Yeah,
not just
it is.
swearing.
That's true.
It's
I agree with
creative
that.
swearing.
100%. Yes, it is.
Anyway, Susan in the chat says there is a film called In the Loop, where they go to
Okay.
America. It's a bit weird though because some of the characters play different roles. And I think
interesting.
they've tried to change it so it appeals to people that have no idea what the thick of it is. It's very strange. And also James Gandolfini from The Sopranos is in it as well, which is very cool.
Gandolfini, yes, cool.
Gandolfini. James
He's
Gandolfini.
awesome. I like him.
Gandolfini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's the thick of it. If you're interested in a funny show
So
about British
in-
politics, check it out.
In the WhatsApp chat, we said today will be the best episode ever. Already gone downhill.
Yeah, already. I'm just plugging my phone in.
A third
Oh,
of
better do that.
Stu's screen is taken up by a wire.
and half of it is his torso.
Torso, yeah,
Rub on
yeah.
that tummy, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I like your hoodie though.
Okay,
Stu.
Well, it
yeah, we can-
wasn't. It wasn't.
I like
it
your- I
wasn't.
know it
but,
wasn't.
But I'm about to turn it round.
Yes.
Turn it round because obviously I've got to stick my charger in the end. It wouldn't do it. With
Obviously.
The other way around.
I like your hoodie.
We are
though,
going to talk
Stu.
about video
Stu,
games soon,
I
people.
like-
Don't worry.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I'm young for 51. Just saying.
No, I didn't say anything about your age. I just said I like your hoodie.
No, I know, but 51-year-olds usually wear like.
Sexy and I know it.
So you don't say.
Yes.
I like
I know
your
what you
hoodie,
mean.
Stu. All right, I didn't say you're
thanks,
old.
mate.
You
I'll
know,
just take it.
just take it.
I'll just take the compliment. I'll just take the compliment.
Moving
Now,
on.
Stu's ringing in from
somebody have a story to tell?
2011. Thanks for that, Stu.
My favorite time. It's story time. Story
Stu, I heard you got a story.
was-
Your internet went off, didn't it?
No,
Yeah, it did.
that's
It
not the story.
literally-
Nobody cares. Shut up.
Just turned up. Just turned the fuck off. It did. I was just like,
The
everything was
Duchess-
going great.
The Duchess.
And now it's turned off. Just a minute. I need to shut the door because I left the door open. You
This
carry
is a
on.
great
Don't worry about me.
Shall I? Because
Don't
I thought
worry,
you were going
don't
to tell
worry.
the story about your
I
internet
can even
kicking
just
off
go
again.
here.
That's
Oh,
important.
but why is that long? I can just go here. It's fine. Oh, there we go.
You're going to be
Hold on.
talking the whole time.
Wheeling
There's no
back,
point in
wheeling
me
back.
trying to tell
I
a
can go
story.
around here as well.
Oh my god.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, I'm just going to get a beer out of the fridge. Hold up.
I think as frustrating and annoying as I was when my computer died, like I don't think it was this bad. Like to be
I
honest.
don't know.
Oh, I'm back.
He's back. He's really
Stu
pleased.
is so tickled by the fact he has a long
He
cord.
can wheel around.
This is life in the north. Like, ooh, I have a
Yeah.
cord. You can know this.
Did you know that they got
All right.
cordless headphones? Right, go on,
The
dude.
Duchess and I have a sushi place we like to go to. Very nice sushi. Okay. She decides, oh, we need to go try this other sushi place. And I'm just like, okay, fine. She's always about trying new things. I am very much a creature of habit, but relationships, it's give and take. So I'm like, okay, let's go to this other place. Siri is telling me to go this way, go that way. It's like 700 feet, turn left. There's like a street that we're at. I think I'm supposed to turn left here. She's like, no, it's up there. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So I'm feeling all stressed. Going to a new place at night is like, it drives me nuts. Anyway, we get there. I'm stupid. First of all, there's like a 20-minute wait, which is kind of annoying because it's in a pretty small town and you wouldn't imagine that this place would be attracting a lot of sushi diners, but it did. For some reason, I thought sashimi was a type of sushi that had rice in it, but I was wrong. Sashimi is just the fish. So I thought I was going to get fish on top of like rice balls, but no, I did not. I got a big plate of fish. It was just the fish.
Was the
And I
fish
was like,
alive? Was the
"Ugh."
fish
Can I just
was it
say-
flopping around?
No, well, I mean, yeah, it was very fresh and
Well,
raw.
Stu-
Yes,
fresh.
Stu, can you
Stu.
just say?
Can I just say, if you'd have played Dave the Diver, you'd have known what to expect. Just saying.
I guess maybe I should have played that game. I should have known what sashimi is before I ordered
Yeah.
it. That's really the lesson here. But anyway, it did come with a California roll, so I had to ask for it because they didn't bring it. So I felt like a weird, annoying, like, excuse me, I think I'm supposed to get this. But on the other hand, you're paying for something at a restaurant, you should get what you paid for, right? So whatever, it was all fine. I sucked it up, and it was, it was good fish. It just, I in the future, I know not to get sashimi. We're driving home in this place I'd never been, once or twice maybe. It's going from 45 miles an hour to 35 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour really quick in terms of speed limits. And I'm going a little too fast, and I'm just like, crap, I think I just passed a cop. Look up in the rear view mirror, whoop, whoop, sound of the police.
No, what do you like?
The statute in the state of Wisconsin says if you're going 1 to 19 miles per hour over the speed limit, you get 4 points on your license. When you get 12 in 1 year, your license is suspended. I was going, according to the cop, 20 miles over the limit exactly, which means I got 6 points on my license.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, God
That is
damn! I don't know if y'all
harsh.
do. I don't know if y'all do points on your license.
do.
But
Yeah, we
I
do.
was like, damn, like what? Seriously? I was exactly so. look, I can go and contest the ticket. I can't argue with the cop. I mean, I believe him that I was going 20 over. But I'm going to reach out to the judge and be like, look, could you please just give me 4 points instead of 6? I'm going to go to you can go to traffic school and get the points reduced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can only get 3 within a certain period of time reduced. So if I can go from 4 to 1, that's better than going from 6 to 3. And I just don't want to have, because if I were to get busted one more time doing 20 miles over, that would be it. I would not be able to drive. And I'm like,
so did he have the speed gun on you to do that then? Or did he
presumably, I mean, I think in the U.S. they've always got him going. I mean, they, whatever. He clocked me at 20 over. So what am I going to say?
We're podcasting with a criminal.
Yeah,
you are podcasting with the criminal. Look, and here's the funniest part, though. He gave me this like aqua card with all these procedures and payment options and stuff. I'm reading it, and I was like, the court may, at its own discretion, fine you an amount in excess or less than the bond amount, blah, blah, blah. There's an apostrophe in the "it's" right there.
Oh no!
Typo. So I'm
grammar.
Well, but here's the thing. I'm hoping that if I go into the judge and say, look, I'm normally very astute with paying attention to details. And she's like, well, then why didn't you notice the speed limit? And I was like, well, I apologize for not catching that, but I will let you know you have a typo in your little card here. She's going to go, ooh, he's a really fastidious citizen. He cares about details.
What a bellend. 12 points. You never drive it again.
Yeah, you're banned.
Yeah.
So that was the fun I had this
learned
weekend.
To do with the authorities is just to shut the fuck up and nod.
Yeah, be humble.
Well, that's what I did with the
what
cop. Oh, absolutely. With the cop, I was all about that. But I mean, whatever. With the judge, I'll start by just saying, is there any chance I can get 4 instead of 6? I was if I had been 1 mile per hour less, I would have had 4.
I didn't realize they recruited such handsome police officers.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that was my excitement.
Dude, that sucks. And, no, it's pretty much the same in this country. You get 3 points for each thing, depending on the seriousness of it.
Right. Well, that's the thing. If I had hit somebody, 6 points would make sense.
Oh yeah, if you'd nearly killed somebody, I think that would have been an instant banning of your life.
You get an extra point. You get an extra point for how far you hit them as well.
Yeah, whether you kill them or not.
You can eject them out of their car.
Yeah.
No, in this country it's the same 12 points. So you get 3 points for each speeding fine. I gotta say though, Duke, if I'm being really honest, if you were probably going 20 mile an hour over the speed limit, that would probably be at least 6 points.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get away with 3 points for that.
20 miles. And in England as well, we have a lot of country lanes, and I know you live in sort of out in the sticks as well, Duke. But in England, we have a lot of country lanes where it goes from 60 miles an hour to 40 to 30 very, very quickly. And I got caught doing 35 in a 30. And I had to do one of these speed awareness things where they go, speeding is bad, and then I got my points reduced, and I'm like, all right,
sure,
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm gonna have to do basically, which is okay. So starting in March, I'll do like 4 Saturdays at this camp in order to.
Hell, this is like a
1-2 hour
speed. This is like 1-2 hour session on Zoom.
And don't get me started. And it's almost as though we use our judicial system as a way to stomp down the working class and overwhelm them with bullshit so that the ruling class can continue doing what it wants to do. Anyway, video games. We're here to talk about video games. Anybody got any other stories?
In the UK, I was gonna say one final. Well, no, not really. I guess.
Well, you're about 7 minutes delayed.
We've got a lot of video games to talk about.
Stu is behind. Yeah. Well, no, he just thought better of it. I think.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
What?
I have no idea why.
Stu,
I don't know what to
when
say.
you answer a question,
there's a gap.
You're about 16 minutes and 30 seconds behind.
It's okay.
I don't know what to say to you. I'm using fucking 4G. What are you expecting?
We'll pretend like Stu is in Antarctica. Stu, can you get an Antarctica background and make it seem like you're very far away?
Maybe
we're lucky you're here at all.
Maybe if I turn the video off, that might work better. Maybe.
Oh, that would help out on the YouTube.
It would help me.
Someone told me one time when I was having technical problems, they were just like, you should just not be on the show. So maybe that would be a solution.
Oh, no. Is he still here?
Well, he's here, but he turned
No, I've just turned the video off. I've turned the video off. Is that any better?
Okay, so Stu, as soon as I stop talking, Stu, you should say howdy. Ready, go.
Howdy.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay, Stu.
Okay, we're going to make it work. I don't think the video had any impact on it, so.
I was just going to say, I cannot do this, or I can try and reconnect and see if that makes it any better.
Is your internet back?
No, nothing.
Is there anything?
Turn the video back on.
Is there anything you can do to get your internet back?
No, because it's literally gone off at the box. It's not just like, a router
They
reset.
just have
It's
to
all
wait
red.
for the sheep herder to
Everything.
come out and
That's right. Everything's fucked.
apply things. Okay, well, let's just make it work
I mean,
here.
I can give it. Look, I can give it a miss if it's better. You just doing it on your own, and then
No.
It's just gonna
I
sound
don't.
weird.
I don't vote for that. I was just being a jerk because of what you said.
No,
one
no,
time,
no,
so-
but it's correct because it's like it's even in the recording, it's gonna sound weird as anything, especially if someone's listening in
doesn't
for
sound
the
that
first
weird.
time.
It's not.
I just think it's a little off.
You're a
for
little
1 week.
delayed, Stu. It's not that bad.
It's not
It's
that
up
bad.
to you
Turn the
two.
video back on. Stay
Well, what's the
here.
point?
Turn
I
your
don't
video
know.
back on.
Do you want
We're
me to just
good.
try reconnecting anyway? I can try
okay.
that. And
Let's
see if
try
that makes it get a
reconnecting,
better
and
connection.
we'll go with
Okay.
that.
Let's
Best-
try it.
Best episode ever.
Okay,
this one.
stand by, everybody. Right, I'm gonna cut some of this out. 25,
No,
12.
keep it in. Keep it in. It's great.
I'll keep
All
you
right,
saying that.
I'm
Ian.
leaving.
Yeah. So we're still on the stream. Hello, stream.
We are. Hi, everybody on the stream. We got 11 people watching. I guess they want to see the
Amazing.
train crash.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Susan says, I'm
Aunt
pissing
Al.
myself laughing here. And says, hey guys, been a while. Nice to see not much has changed.
This is on The Simpsons. People don't want to see cute babies. They want to see celebrities at their worst.
Yeah.
They
It's
wanna
nice
see
to see
things
not much
fucking
has
up.
changed with Stu's internet, Ant says. That's right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, Stu, Chinny, whatever your name is.
Hello.
What was the highlight of your week?
Rose is like sort of giggling now, sort of
Oh, nice.
laughing and stuff, so that's nice. I enjoy that. It's good. I was playing
All right, Stu's back. He's
playing with
connecting the audio
her
you were
in the
playing with.
kitchen and sort of running up to her while she's sitting on a little high chair, and I go
Aw.
like that, and she goes.
Yeah.
So that's
You know
fun.
what's funny? A friend of ours had a baby, and at one point, I don't remember why, but I just did this to the baby. I went, just moving my hand toward him, making
Yeah.
that noise. And he thought it was the funniest thing
Yeah.
in the world. So all day I kept doing that. And then every other baby or child I encountered, I tried going, and they never found
Yeah.
it funny.
No.
And my friends were just like, stop doing that weird noise.
Yeah.
It worked
It
one
worked
time.
once.
though.
Yeah, that's right. Spacey
Who's
in the
back,
chat.
people?
Spacey in the chat says, "Hey, it's me from Rocket League. We played earlier." today."
Oh, sweet. Space Area. Did you hear me give a shout out? Yeah, what up, Spacey? That's my dog right there. We won I don't know. We won 6 games maybe, but we lost some too. So I worry that I dragged his rank down, but still, it's all good. Thanks
So
for showing up, man.
So, Spacey, I'd like to say that the show isn't usually this unprofessional where we have disconnection issues and things like that. But unfortunately, it is. This is exactly like it is every week. So, hey, Stu, you're back.
I'm back. Can you hear me? Is it in
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
I don't
Yeah, it
see.
seems like there's no delay. Let's hurry up and talk about the video
Woo,
games
let's
we've been
do
playing.
this.
Okay.
There will be a
here we
delay,
go.
by the
Where are you going? Story time's over.
What you been playing?
Okay, we have no time for the full theme because
Yeah, have faith.
we got Next Fest people, and for those who don't know, Steam every once in a while, I can't tell what the pattern is, but every once in a while they're just like, okay, it's Next Fest time. It happens every month. It feels like now, but they throw out 700 demos for upcoming games, and that happened this week. It's still going on. I don't know when it's over right now, but there's a
12,
bunch of demos
12,
you
I
can
believe.
download for free. Oh, really? Okay, so tomorrow it ends.
Yeah.
I still got 3 demos I kind of want to try, but I didn't have time to play them.
I've got one that I didn't manage to get around to, so I've just
Yeah.
got one. Shall we just
So
take it in
Chinny,
turns?
I guess you probably, Chinny probably didn't play any of these demos.
I did
'cause
go
he
on
went, "PC
Steam
boo."
and look for Next Fest, and I looked in the store, and then all I saw was Rockstar sale, and I was like, "Oh!" So I went on that, and then I bought
Is there anything that you don't already have?
I
from
bought
Rockstar?
GTA 4 the collection for £5, and then I
Alright.
just forgot about it.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so Stu, what demo did you play?
Well, just before I do that, I have got a recommendation for Chinny to play from Next Fest.
Oh,
okay.
And I didn't.
God.
I didn't actually get to play this myself because I ran out of time, but I think he would like this. And it's called Baltro. And it's
Baltro.
it's a poker game. So it could be worth a go. It could be worth something that you might like, Ginny. So I reckon
Ginny
you
likes
should
poker.
give it a whirl. Yeah, it
I
does.
do like
it
poker.
does.
But he hates games on
So-
the PC, so it's
He
like
does. He does. So the first game I'm going to talk about, I have put a link. Luckily, I've done the show notes before everything went tits up, so at least there's links in
Yes.
there to the video, etc. But the first game I'm going to talk about is a game called Indica. Indica.
Ooh, like the
is
drug.
game. I have no
Please don't
idea.
play the demo.
Is
sound
it a
effect
drug?
Every bloody.
Yeah, not
Okay, I
every
won't.
not every time.
Okay.
Not every time.
Okay, so is it about drugs?
Nothing to do with drugs. It's to do with a nun. So
Oh,
it's
nun
a
on drugs?
nun. It's very weird. I'm going to say it's fucking pretty as anything. It's one of the best. I think it's on Unreal 5, so it looks incredible.
Oh,
Right,
I
which
think I
obviously
saw this and chose not to play it. Go on.
It's got the weirdest splash screen. Can I just say it just looks fucking weird? It's like who came up with that? Because that does not represent this game at all. It looks weird.
Okay.
So yeah, so you play as a nun.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's a fictional world. It feels fictional.
Oh my
because
God.
they're talking in some talking about weird things. Like they talk about. Wow, what's the matter with you?
Your audio is
You're
quite,
breaking up.
sorry, man.
quite bad.
I don't know what to say. Shall we just leave it for this week? I'll leave you two to it because it's not going to, and if the internet comes back on in the meantime, I'll rejoin. But obviously,
Yeah.
if it doesn't, then because I just don't
It's
think
weird
it's
because
worth
it works for a bit and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
It
You
works
know?
for a while.
Yeah.
Well, it'll start lagging, won't it? Because it's obviously on 4G, which isn't ideal.
Just keep going, Stu. Keep going. You're okay now.
There's
Just
no
keep going.
point.
Just keep
There's
going.
no point.
Yes.
What's the point?
Because I
What's
want
the
to hear
point?
about this
It's-
bloody
you
nuns
can
having
talk
fun.
about this game now and then.
I don't see the point because it's just going to sound rubbish on the recording. It's not worth
Every
it. It
episode
really isn't.
sounds rubbish.
No, Ali, not as rubbish as this. Look, I think I should just leave it and leave you two guys to it, really. I'll be honest.
Okay, if your internet comes back on, will you come back
I
on?
will read. Of course I will.
Okay.
Of course I will. If it
Okay,
comes
well,
back on, I
let's
will
hope and
rejoin.
pray that your internet comes back on.
I'm praying
and
for
we'll
you,
see you
Stu.
again soon, I hope. Yeah,
I'll be
we're all
honest.
praying.
It's been playing up the last few days on and off, so I think it's just finally given up the ghost. I think it's just gone, fuck this shit, I'm done. That's what I think has happened. It's been messing around, going on and off for like the last few days all the time.
Okay.
That sounds very frustrating. I hope you can get it sorted.
It does.
Can you
Fucking
not do the
virgin.
thing where well, never mind. Yeah, okay.
I'll try restarting the router because I didn't do that, so I'll give that a whizzle, while I'm gone.
Okay.
And I'll leave you two guys to it. Have a fun show, and I'll hopefully see you
Okay,
next
we
week.
love you,
if
Stu.
the-
Good luck.
If the internet's back.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh, it says if I can leave. Oh, God, sausage fingers. For God's sake. There you go.
Yeah, Stu can hang out in the chat. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
well,
just us two.
us.
Uh,
And there were two. We're gonna fight to the death to see who's the only survivor on the show. And it's Stu's out.
Can we just talk about more of the thick of it? No, we can't. we can't. Sorry, I'm trying to make the video look.
You gotta adjust the visual
Cack.
things. Yeah, I actually looked at Indica. It's funny because when Next Fest happens, literally there's like over 100 demos. So it's not a matter of like which games might be interesting because a lot of them are interesting. It's a question of how many you feel like downloading and realistically how many of them you'll be able to play in a week.
Yeah.
Right. So when I got to this one, I was like, it looks maybe kind of interesting, but it also looks, it's very grim. And there's, as you can see on the screen, it's just people riding around in the snow on some kind of, sled bike thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, whatever. I don't think I'll enjoy that game. So I moved on and played some other games. So, yeah.
Okay, I think I'm getting. Sorry, I'm just trying to make it look so it doesn't look wank. I mean, that's what I've come up
Yeah,
with
that's
so
fine.
far. It's okay. It's got our little logo on it.
On the
It's fine.
screen, on the stream, I'm still seeing like you're up
I know
top,
you
the top
are,
of my-
you
Oh, there we go.
bloody
Okay. I'm just making sure that
Anyway, so Nuns Having Fun.
Yes.
That's the video game that Stu
right.
plays.
Nuns in the snow. That's
Nuns.
Indica.
Nuns.
And for those who don't know, indica, cannabis indica is a kind of cannabis plant. You smoke the wacky tobacco.
Lovely.
So
So
I
do
don't
you want
know
to
why they
get
called it indica, but
get through your bunch of
Yeah,
stuff? Because I've only
sure.
played 2 games.
that's fine. I've been playing some more Rocket League. I said space area, so I already shouted him out. I can say it again.
Mhm.
And Shrouded continues to be awesome. And in fact,
Oh.
I beat a boss of sorts so that I was able to increase my flame and get through the deadly shroud. Now you don't need to pull up the video because there's not much to say about it, but I finally got the blacksmith's forge, extra forge thing so that I can make better armor. And that's really nice to turn a corner and, get better equipment and stuff. So that's good. Anyway, the first 2 games I'll talk about are the weakest of the bunch, One of them's called Minami Lane, and this is promoting itself as like a very chill, community builder, and it's very anime style. It's very, it's cute. It's Japanesey cute type stuff going on, and Stu's sending us some picture about his technical problems, and I don't know what it says. I'm not going to spend my time looking at it. Sorry.
I don't even who is that guy? I don't even remember his name.
Stu? I don't know.
Yeah,
some
I don't know.
guy.
Some guy. I don't know.
Yeah, just smelly man. So Minami Lane is it says that it's like no stress. It's just like take things as you go, and add people to your little lane and add shops and things. And I played it for a little while, but when you add a shop, it might raise happiness on this street. And there's literally like 5 people living on the street, and that's all you see is just the street. So it was like, when you add a shop, and it might add like 20% happiness. So I'm at 50% happiness. I have no money, and I'm supposed to add 9 people to the street, but I can't figure out how to do it because I'm not making a lot of money each day. Okay. And the happiness isn't going up. So I was just like, I don't know. I played it for a little while, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's pretty unintuitive. And I was just like, I don't think there's any use to.
But you're into those
with
kind
this
of
game.
games as well, aren't you?
Sometimes I am if they're well made. But I think in this case, I just had to say.
I just want to say, this game. I'm done.
Yeah.
Quit out. Because again, that's the thing. With 100 demos at your disposal, a game might be generally cute and in a genre that I like. But if it doesn't just grip me and keep me going, there's no reason to keep playing. I'm just delete it and go to the next free thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that is. Meanwhile, there's another game called Summer House.
Okay.
And so Summer House is it's even more chill. There's no goals. And he's very upfront. Because he can tell that the Steam Brigade is going to be coming for him. So he's all about and you can put this one on the screen because the graphics are kind of interesting. His description is like, there's no goals, there's no achievements, there's no monsters, there's no, advancement, there's no upgrades, there's no nothing. It's just you make a house and then you basically add on to it. With this house.
When you say it's like, so is this like a House Flipper copy or something? Or
no, it would be a House Flipper if there were anything you could do to the house. But basically, it's 2D. It's very pixel art style, and you just like put a house down. And then, to be honest, I didn't even play it enough, and it's been a while since I played it, so I don't really remember it very well. Yeah. But you're just like clicking, like, okay, I'm gonna add windows. And so you put windows on it, and then you can be like, all right, I'll put a door on it, and you put a door on it. Like, that's it. But there's no advancement. There's nothing to do with the house. Like, you can't sell it or get people to move in or anything. You're just adding a few design elements.
Right.
So it's sort of like if MS Paint had, housing elements in it, and you just stuck them on. It was really, I didn't spend more than 5 minutes with it because I just got so bored so quickly.
I don't. I'm looking at it now. I don't even get it. It's just so you're building a house, but it's like really basic. Is that the gist of it?
Building is a very generous way to put it, but yes, it's very, very basic. And it's it's just it's cute. Like, it looks nice. It's pleasant to look at for 5 seconds, but there's no real game there. You know what I mean? So, and he was honest about it up front, so I'll give him credit for being totally upfront. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let me do one more, and then you can talk about a game.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You're so excited about these.
No. It's I'm just trying to work out what I've played. Okay. Yep. Fine.
Okay.
Another one.
Right. So one more. There's a game. Yes. Star Trucker is obviously a play on words with a very somebody who's really into celebrities might be considered a star fucker, right?
Sometimes when we're mad, we say words that are bad.
I recognize that, whatever. Anyway, so here's the idea of Star Trucker. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to play Euro Truck Simulator, but in space?
Well, you before in space, No, would have been the answer.
Even
No.
before I get to that. Here's the thing. Look, I was actually very intrigued by the concept. And when I started playing it, I was like, hey, this is pretty funky because it's a very basic, like, pick things up here, transport them over there. But it's tough because, when you have 3 dimensions and asteroids going by and other vehicles, threatening to crash into you, it can be tough to like get the I don't know what you would call it behind you, the can with the detergent in it, into the right spot. And thankfully the game is pretty generous about like, okay, you basically maneuvered it into the right position. The spot in space like lights up green because you're in the right spot. So all you got to do is stop and then you can unhitch it and then, you get your money. Well, the first delivery I did, it was like, you damaged it a whole bunch. And I was like, I didn't damage it. Stuff hit it. And so it was supposed to give me $1,000 when I finished the delivery. I ended up getting $200. I was like, you bastards, are you kidding me? So,
and how far did you have to take it? Like 17 light years away or something?
No, it was just one jump. And I thought I did a pretty good job, but apparently I was crap at it.
Yeah.
But that didn't make me stop playing it. What made me stop playing it was I went to get another assignment, and there's this whole thing where, okay, in Euro Truck Simulator, you don't get out of the truck, right?
No. Well,
Right.
I don't know.
I've never. Well, I'm pretty sure. But as far as I can remember, you never, because there's no need to get out of the truck. The whole game is about
actually,
the truck.
Duke, you do get out of the truck. Yeah, I know.
There are opportunities to re-examine it.
Yeah.
In this game, for some reason, they made it so that like, well, okay, first of all, when you first start playing the game, they say, hey, you got a hull breach there. You should fix that, buddy. And that's fine because they show you the mechanics of getting out of the truck, put on your spacesuit, get into the airlock, open up the airlock, get out, fix up your hull breach, which is a very simple procedure. It's just press A to fix your hull breach, and then you go back in the truck. Okay, cool. So I did that, and I was like, that's kind of funky. And they're like, optional, activate the radio. And I'm like, okay. And you can, you have like inside the cab view and you can like look around at your different gauges and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, over here's the radio. I hit the radio and it starts playing this song about on the long haul and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine.
Driving through space.
Pretty much. Yeah. And then the CB kicks off and it's like, breaker, breaker, you read me, big rig 7. And then they're like, oh, we should call him this, we should call him that. And, they give you a little nickname and stuff. And that's cute. I'm like, okay, fine. A little social element or whatever. So I go to get the next shipment, and it's like, there's something on my dashboard that's like, boop, boop, boop. And I'm like, what is that? There's no indication of what it is, just some icon. I have no idea what it is. The tutorial has ended, so it's like, go advance 3 levels. And I'm like, but I don't know what this boop, boop, boop is. So I turn around in the chair, and all my shit in the cab is like floating around. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I get out of the seat and I go to the control panel, and it's like gravity support. And it's like, it's like a wall of like, systems, and they're all green except gravity support is now red. And I was like, well, where's the gravity support? What am I supposed to do about this? And I'm looking around and my stuff is flying everywhere, and there's like batteries and stuff flying. And I'm like, why are the batteries floating out loose? Why aren't they in a case or something? So eventually I'm like, I can't figure out how to get the gravity to work again. And so I'm like, I go online and there's a video and it's like, you have to lift the stairs up. And then the gravity is under there. The gravity control well is under there. So I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I'm trying to so I lift the stairs up and I open the hatch, and the battery for the gravity thing is dead. And first of all, why is any of this part of the game? Like, just let me drive my fucking space truck around. Jesus Christ.
Awful.
It was awful. And then I get the old battery out and I'm looking around for a new battery, but they've been floating around, so they've been damaged a whole bunch. Yeah. And I'm like, how do I fix these batteries? And then like, what the fuck is that? And it's like temperature dropping. I'm like, shit. And I go to the wall and it's like temperature control is now red. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. And then it's like life support is draining. I'm like, oh, you know what? Fuck this shit. I thought I was going to be able to drive a little space truck, but instead it's turned into fucking dead space.
Yeah. A necromorph comes on board. Alien on,
exactly.
on truck. Yeah.
Great concept. A lot of fun to actually drive the truck, but all the other shit just made it such an ass ache. I was like, forget it. Never mind. So
yeah. Sounds stressful.
Yeah. It was very stressful. So, unfortunately, it's a thumbs down on Star Trucker. But depending on what they fix and change, maybe they'll take all that stupid extraneous stuff out and just let me. Or maybe they could have a mode where it's like, do you want to have to deal with gravity and climate control, or do you just want to drive your little truck? Because if they had that, I might buy it, because the driving of the truck thing was great.
Yeah, no, it looks like a good game. Like the graphics and stuff look nice.
The graphics are great, and it controls well. I was very impressed by how relatively smooth the truck hole, because it's a space truck. You're not supposed to have. It's not going to be Burnout Paradise, right? It's going to be clunky and weird.
That's the trouble with
But the other thing that
flying in space is that it just doesn't look fast, does it? Because everything's so fucking far away in space.
Yeah,
so it
absolutely.
Driving on a road is cool because things go past quick. But
yeah, and there's like two, there's 3 deer running across our field right there. I wish I could show you. But
the deer in Wisconsin.
The deer. Oh, deer. Yeah, exactly. Stu said it doesn't sound good. It'll be 1 a.m. tomorrow before they can fix his internet.
Oh boy!
In case listeners were worried.
Yeah.
But the other thing about this space trucker, the last thing I'll say is that, you can choose to have the in-cab view, which is fine because that's generally all you really need. But you can also switch the view to be like outside your rig.
Third person, some
left
might
side,
say.
right side. Yeah, third person. But I couldn't figure out, maybe there's a way to do it, maybe not. It's like right up against the back edge of the truck.
Oh, okay.
So like I'm like, give me more peripheral vision so I can see what's near me. Maybe I can avoid having things hit me so I don't have as many hull breaches so that my gravity doesn't turn off. So anyway, yeah.
Well, the person on the video seems to be getting on with it okay.
Well, if I was going to stream on YouTube, I would want to make sure I knew what I was doing too. That's why I didn't stream me playing.
You know what? I think I would have preferred to watch your version of this gameplay video. Just
because it's funny to watch me get mad, and I was getting a little steam, no doubt. So. Yeah. And I wonder, well, whatever. Anyway, all right. What you been playing there, Chinny? There, man, dude.
I've been playing Alan Bloody Wake.
Alan Bloody Wake. Yeah. How far do you think you are in this game?
Oh, not that far. Honestly, one session on this was me walking around a corner, reading a piece of paper, and then walking around another corner, and then I put it down. That was about 15 minutes.
Did it take a long time, or were you just annoyed?
That was about
by
15
how
minutes.
Slow things were
yeah, it was like 50 because Alan Wake, he just walks everywhere in this game, so it's just slow.
Right.
And
right.
But I have got to the part now where basically the way the introduction is structured is that you play as a woman called Saga at first. So I've done her bit, and then that introduces you to Alan Wake, and then you play as Alan Wake for a little bit, and then the story goes, now you can play as either one anytime, and that's where I'm up to. So I feel like I've done the intro to Saga, I've done the intro to Alan Wake, and now the game has just said to me you can switch between them when you want, so you can progress the story however way you want to. So that's where I got to basically, and it's
sure.
I don't know. I know you don't really care about Alan Wake because it's dumb, but I feel like you would. I don't know. I don't think you would like this game. A, because it's fucking shit your pants scary, and you don't like feeling scared. And also, there's less of Alan Wake, which is good, isn't it?
Right.
That's nice because he's a moron, basically. He's just a moron, isn't he? And even when he says stuff
I don't know that I remember him being a moron in the last game.
Psychotic, that man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not saying anything about your wife wearing jeans on the sofa was the main issue I had with Alan Wake and his wife.
Okay.
But anyway, he's just sort of gone mad, hasn't he? And he's just the general gist of it is he's trapped in some sort of limbo world, right, for the last 13 years, and Saga Lady has somehow got him out of it. So you're like, how did she do that? So that's kind of, and he's out of it. And he's like, where have I been for 13 years? Did we win the Super Bowl? I think it's the Super Bowl tonight, isn't it? That's what I said.
Yes, it is.
So go Gators! I don't know who's playing. I have no idea.
It's the Chiefs and the 49ers, baby.
Yeah, 49ers, dude. No idea.
Yeah, dude.
So he's like, oh, where have I been for 13 years? Why's my hair so long? You know, because there's no barbers in the limbo world, I imagine.
Right.
Which should be longer, really. His hair should be longer, really, unless he's been cutting it
probably.
somehow. So that's the gist of where I am at the moment. And Saga's like, "You crazy?" That's pretty much.
Yeah.
And Saga has
Not
this
much to
weird.
report, that's
I don't
fine.
know why, but Saga is a detective. She's this detective lady.
Yeah.
And like, there's a feature in the game where you go into sort of a mind palace. I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And so I feel like she has some sort of superpower where she's like, she just knows if somebody's bullshitting. Like, because it looks like, well, it's on the screen now, like she's profiling someone. And she looks at a few notes, and then it's like, they're bullshitting. There's a necklace that they need to tell me. I was like, how did she figure that out? Is she like, is she psychic?
She's got the power. She's got the
So
sight. Yeah, exactly.
So I
man.
think she's sort of
I mean,
psychic
this
or something.
game does dabble in that like supernatural stuff. In the first one, you're fighting a goddamn tractor, so nothing is off the table really in terms of the possibility.
But then I think the coolest part of the intro to Alan Wake is, so you're playing as Saga. She's got a daughter. You never see the daughter, but you speak to her on the phone, and the woman at the calf, which is the same waitress as in the first game, goes, "Oh, you're the one where your daughter died in the lake." And she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So that was interesting. I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
Maybe she's stuck in some sort of limbo nonsense, you know."
Could be.
So no, it's definitely a better game than the first one. Having just played the first one, it's fun, but it's like you, Duke. I just don't want to be in the world for very long, so I play it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, oh fuck this.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I want to watch the thick of it,
I mean,
where everything's lovely.
Right. I guess, you know, and I don't mean this in any kind of accusatory way, but like you knew that's what it was going to be like, right?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be like this, but I'm not. It's just really scary.
Expected to be quite such a sludge.
I guess so. It's just, no, it's just so dark. You know, it's much darker than the like literally and figuratively. It's much darker than the first game because there's blood and people getting gutted. There's not much of that in the first one, but there's like
and I
just
feel like the
fucking
first
people
one
getting sliced in half and stuff. You know.
Well, and it was like crazy stuff happening, but it felt like it came in bursts. So it was just like, I'm going to run toward this shed and then I'll have an area of woods that I need to get through. But, you know, and there's crazy stuff happening in it, but then I'm going to get to another
But this
spot.
is
and
this
feels
is
like it's a lot
Goria.
more
This is
big
Goria.
and a
This
lot
is
more
like
gory, right?
yeah. We're going to take.
Like, what did people like about the first one? Let's just turn it up to 11. Man.
Let's just take somebody's heart out of their stomach for a laugh. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not a lovely place to be in. So yeah, more Alan Wake. I like it, but I don't get to play much of it. So Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2, baby. There's that. Okay,
You got more
some
games.
other demos that I played. I have some other demos
Go
to talk
for it.
about, and then we'll get to the play my game, bitch.
Did you play the
segment.
play my game, bitch?
I did.
Oh.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So shocked that I played it. Did you really?
No, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. so
You?
whatever. There's a game back in the day called Rocky's Boots. You should put this on the screen. I put it in
I will.
parentheses there, brackets. Yeah. I don't know if anybody out there listening ever played Rocky's Boots, but this was my jam back in the day. We had it for the Apple IIc.
Is this?
It was a very old game. It was very basic. It was designed to teach kids about programming, basically. It's about logic gates, AND gates, OR gates, stuff like that. So if you have, power coming into an AND gate, there's two paths for the power to be going. In order for the AND gate to light up, you have to have both power lines lit, right? So if you only had one power line going through, it wouldn't light the AND gate. And OR gates, it could be either one of them and stuff like that.
Have you
So
got
this is all-
like temporary memory loss? Do you realise that there's other games you could be playing instead of this?
No. This is just a preface for another game
it's
that
a
I'm. I
preface.
did not play Rocky's Boots. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. I should be clear.
Okay.
I was not playing Rocky's Boots.
Okay.
But in case anybody out there knows Rocky's Boots, first of all, holler at your boy. Let us know about it. Because this game that I played this week really reminded me of Rocky's Boots, and I thought I'd throw it out there for anybody who played it. So the game, the next demo I'm going to talk about from Next Fest is called Electronics Puzzle Lab.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is just like Electrician Simulator, except maybe you're just fixing, gadgets and stuff. It's nothing to do with fixing gadgets. I mean, maybe at some point it will eventually turn into that, but that's not what this game is. This game is just about solving these logic problems so you can make a light turn on, or in some cases there's a little speaker that you make go boop. That's the whole game. And it starts off very simply with if you turn on this switch, it will light up the circuit and then the red light comes on. It's like, yay, you finished the level. But it starts adding these logic gates and, or, nor, and then the capacitors, which do the opposite of, so if you have power going in, it will turn the power off. And so then you have to turn the power off for the light to turn on. Does that make sense?
No.
No, I know. It's very confusing and weird if you're not familiar with these logic gates, but whatever. They are what they are, and this game implements them very well. And they add a thing where they have these blue lights. You do not want to turn the blue lights on, because if you turn the blue lights on, what happens is that your machine, the thing you're working on, your circuit board dies basically. So, you don't want to turn the blue lights on. And I started playing this thinking like, oh God, it's just going to get more and more complicated. Looking at this, most people would probably be like, what the fuck are you doing, Duke? Like, why would you play this shit?
Yeah, I've been thinking that, yeah.
I couldn't fucking stop, man.
Wow.
I couldn't stop. I was playing it and I'm just like, oh man, I did it. I didn't think I would do that one. And then it starts loading the next one. I'm like, all right, I'll do one more. And then I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And before I knew it, it was like, thanks for playing our demo. Make sure you wish list. I will wish list this game. I had a lot of fun with this.
Would you buy this game?
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it depends on how much it is. I'm not paying $20 for this shit, but a tenner, I would throw a tenner at it. Yeah. It's
okay.
It might be, let me look at the other ones. Well, this is the second best demo I played on Next Fest. So there's a lot of games on Next Fest, and I like, to be fair, the ones that a lot of people, it has a list of the most downloaded demos and stuff. There are some that are clearly trying to be like Skyrim style, big open world RPGs and stuff. So though, I didn't get to play. I downloaded 2 of those and I didn't get to play them. So it may be that next week I'll come back and be like, okay, Electronic Puzzle Lab is not the best game in the Next Fest, but it's one of the best demos I played. It's certainly better than Space Trucker, which is a shame because I wanted to like that one a lot. But this is very well done. It doesn't do much, but for what it does it very well. And I had a lot more fun than I thought I would. So
Jeez.
If you like this
flicking
kind of thing,
switches.
you are just flicking switches,
Wow.
but it's tough because you got to make sure you do it right. And you're not, I mean, the intro levels, are just like, make the red light go. And you just like, well, obviously you flip this and it's like, yay, good job. I was like, okay, it's very basic, but they start adding things in and throwing curveballs, and those blue lights, you can fry the whole thing. What they should do is, if you make the blue light go on, then it's like electricity sparks and a demon shows up and the person's eyeballs fall out. Like, that would be more fun, but it doesn't do that. It just makes a blue light go on.
Wow.
So that's
Puzzle Lab.
Right. Ridiculous. I feel silly even recommending it, but I did have fun with it.
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Let me skip down to Rotwood.
Oh, yeah.
Rotwood is a very stylized game. It's by the people who made Don't Starve, so everyone knows them. They also did Mark of the Ninja, right?
Yes, they did do Mark of the Ninja, yes, which is a
Same
phenomenal
people.
game, yes.
It is a phenomenal game. Don't Starve is one of the most successful, high-end, one of the most successful survival games ever made. So I was pretty excited to play this. And it's really not my kind of game. It's well made for what it is, but it's just what it is doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
So it is sort of like Castle Crashers, but there's very few enemies on the screen at any one time. And it's kind of Binding of Isaac style in that you go up, right, left, or right, up, down, left, right. From one screen, you go in, any different direction you want. Sometimes they're blocked off or whatever. And you're fighting, 6 or 7 enemies. Your health goes down really quickly. I mean, maybe I just suck at it. That's possible, but it just felt like, and it's this thing of like, you're moving in 3 dimensions, but you need to be on the same like X-axis in order to hit the monster you're trying to attack. You can't be below them, right?
Well,
You
this
won't
is
hit
what
'em
I'm
if you're-
looking at the footage here, and this person is trying to hit this cat, rabbit, whatever it is, and
Yeah.
they're just struggling to hit them because
Yeah.
they can't get on the same
really right.
thing.
So, I didn't have this much trouble. I don't really understand why.
Oh, well, I
they're
know what it is. I think
freaking
that's
out
just
like
their
that.
co-op partner. So
That's
it's
their
like,
co-op
yeah,
partner.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
fair enough. So that's what
Fine.
that. But anyway, it's just there's quite a bit of text on the screen. Do this, do that, and you can get this boost up and whatnot. And it's again like with Don't Starve with friends. Like it's supposed to be played with other people, I think. So maybe the problem was that I was playing it alone. But I play a lot of games you're supposed to play co-op all by myself, and they're fun. So I just think this might be aimed at slightly younger players. It wasn't for me. I didn't have fun with
Because
it.
people like Don't Starve, don't they? I didn't like it, but so
It's got a charm.
it does look like Castle
This is
Crashers,
also
doesn't
kind of
it?
roguelike-ish. Yeah, it's trying to mix a few very successful genres and titles and types of games, and I
Yeah.
think those things that it's mixing together just aren't for me. In the same way that a lot of people look at crafting and electronics puzzle games and they're like, "What the fuck? Who would play this shit?"
Great art.
So great art, looks great. The music and the sounds are good. The animations are cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might appeal to other folks, but it didn't do it for me.
Yeah,
So,
great art. They made a game before Mark of the Ninja, and I loved the art on that.
Okay.
But it was bad. I remember it being bad. They made two of them.
The game itself, you mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. What was the name of the developer again?
Clay Entertainment.
That's it, Clay. With a
No.
K, is it?
Yep, KLEI.
K.
They started off with Eats. I don't remember Eats at all.
No, I
And then
don't
N
remember.
Plus, that was the game you played forever.
No, yeah, I loved that one, but like it was something else as
Yeah,
well. It was
Shank and Shank 2.
Yeah, that was it.
Shank, yeah.
And
Shank was good. I liked Shank.
I remember liking the look of it, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this looks really
Yeah.
good," and the art was really good. But I played it, and it just didn't hit. And then Mark of the Ninja was brilliant, and plus obviously he's brilliant. But I feel like for me, like they've made misses rather than hits, but the hits they have are great. But
Right. I think they do what they do very well. It's just that those things don't always appeal. I mean, like Don't Starve was fun for me for a while, but then, it felt like it was just adding one more thing and one more thing to craft, one more thing to go find.
yeah,
And I didn't realize there was a way to like get out of this jungle area you were in or whatever it was. So at some point I was thinking, I'll go back and try, to win that. I never went back. I still have it. Then they did a game called Oxygen Not Included. Did you ever try that?
oh, I don't. No, I didn't know. I just
It's kind of.
I felt like we got a divorce, me and Clay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Like
I mean,
we
yeah,
tried
it's-
we tried Don't Starve, and then we went our separate ways.
Yeah. Oxygen Not Included is sort of like a village, but it's
Yeah.
a bunch of people teleporting into like an alien planet, and
Yeah.
you have to manage their water and their poop and their activity and their happiness and their oxygen, all these things, and it's just again, it became micromanaging, and I just wasn't into it. And they did one. Sorry, this is the last thing I'll say. They did one called Griftlands, which I remember looking at, but I never play it. It's a roguelike deck building game. Yeah, I was like, deck building now. Oh, I don't know. All right, I got one more demo to talk about, and
Go
then we
for
can
it.
talk about the Play My Game.
Nice.
This one is Shapes 2 with a Z.
Shapes.
I don't know if you ever played Shapes 1, but I did. I think I got it free or really cheap on some sale. I must have gotten it for like $1 or something, because I don't think I would have paid more than that. And Shapes 1 is a very good game. It's very simple. It's sort of like if Factorio didn't have a character or aliens or technology, but just focused on, you start off getting squares in Shapes 1, and then, and you have this vortex you have to put the shapes into, right? And so but it only wants the right half of the square or whatever, right? So you get a machine that cuts your squares in half, and then you can rotate the left half so that you're just chucking right halves into the vortex. Yeah?
Okay,
Makes
right.
sense?
Is it like an
And you're using conveyor
automation
belts.
type?
It is.
Right.
It's exactly like Factorio or Satisfactory, but the first one was 2D, pretty basic color scheme, focused on number of things and getting complicated rather than aesthetics and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Shapes 2 comes along and says, all right, hold my beer and watch this. And it says, all right, first of all, bam, 3D.
Yeah.
Which for the most part isn't really important, but
No.
right away, as soon as you start playing it, they're like, all right, you've got like levels. So
Yes.
while you're dragging your conveyor belt, if you press E, you go up to the second floor and your conveyor belt goes up to the second floor with you. So it's like, okay, I see what you're doing here. Shapes 2. And it's very interesting because in addition to cutting things in half and rotating things and all that stuff, you can now stack things on top of each other. So very early on, the Vortex says, and the Vortex now is this like swirling cyclone. The graphics have, they ask you like, what kind of graphics do you want? And I don't remember exactly what my rig said, but when it gets to high and then ultra high, the high setting is like only if you have this kind of graphics card or better. And I was like, well, mine's like 5 years old, so I doubt it's that kind of You're just moving shapes around. The fuck do we need fancy graphics for? But they're going for it.
Yeah.
So more power to them. Yeah. So very early, it's saying, okay, the Vortex is like, okay, I want the left half of the circle, and then the top right corner is going to be a square,
Yep.
and the bottom right corner is going to be a circle segment on top of a square segment. So you have several steps of cutting, turning, stacking, and then assembling, and then you can chuck it in the Vortex.
Mm-hmm.
So again, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this is the next Call of Duty. It's so exciting and fun. I get it. I know. It's going to only appeal to some people.
I stay away from these types of games because,
Yeah.
not because I don't think they're going to be fun, it's because I think they make me question life. Do you know what I mean? Like, what am I
know what you
actually
mean.
doing with my life?
Well, there's that. And then the other thing about these games, this is true of Factorio, man. You look up and it's like, oh my God, 2
Yeah.
hours went where?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That whenever
You
I
don't
hear that
realize
about
it.
a game, it's like, oh, I played it for 5 minutes and then, found out that I'm getting a divorce and I live in a flat, and I'm like, oh, right. So,
And part of it is because, suddenly one of the conveyor belts isn't moving and you're like, what the fuck? So you have to go tracing where the log jam is
mhm.
and then like clearing it up or like reorganizing your conveyor belts and stuff. And fortunately, they make it very easy in this game, which I don't think they did in the first one, to like make blueprints, and you can like, you're not supposed to play it the way I played the first few levels, which is just putting stuff everywhere and eventually you create what you need to and you put it in the Vortex. You're supposed to do them in like small areas, and then you can just copy and paste it and then have like 10 of those all operating at the same time, and then you'll quickly fill the Vortex. But here's what happened. Eventually you get access to these other platforms, and so you have to link these other platforms to your main platform where the Vortex is in order to import, in my case, the red square with a diagonal arrow on it. Okay, so now I got red square diagonal arrow. I know, it's very exciting, right? Because I had black and white squares and circles, and now I'm getting red square with the red diagonal. Oh, they showed this thing you need to make and put it in the Vortex, and when you do, you'll get faster conveyor belts. I'm like, okay, cool. I want faster conveyor belts. That'll make the whole thing. And by the way, you know how when you play SimCity, or I think it's true in Factorio and other games, you can adjust whether the game is moving at normal speed,
Yeah.
twice the speed, 5 speed. You
Sims
can't
or
do that in this
SimCity.
game.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You can't do that here. I don't know if it's just the demo or if maybe the first one you couldn't do. I don't remember, but you can't adjust the speed here. So I was just like, I had one where you had to make 400 of the thing, and I had made one, like I said, I spread the process out all over the screen. So it was making them, but it was making them very slowly. And what I'm supposed to do is copy and paste that set of, machines and do it with multiple. I couldn't because it was all over the screen. So I was just sitting there waiting. I was like, all right, I'm going to let this run, go and get a bite to eat and then come back.
Wow.
Anyway, so it wants this thing to make the faster conveyor belts. It says, okay, I won't bore you with the details, but it was basically like half a circle on top of half a square, and then the red diagonal with the red square on top of that. I was like, okay, fine. So I was making that, assembled it, chucking it. It took forever to make it, to get all the different pieces rotated and cut and assembled and all that. And then I'm chucking, and it finally goes to go into the Vortex, and it's like, it gives you a little red X. And I'm like, what the fuck? What? And I'm looking at, because they show you on the screen, like, here's what you need to make. So I enlarged it real big and was like looking at it next to what, the thing that because it'll show you like, here's what you're going to be producing from this machine.
Yeah.
And that makes it a lot easier to assemble everything. And it looked identical. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? So I go to the Discord for this game's demo, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? and they write, "Oh, the red thing needs to be on the bottom." And I was like, "How am I supposed to know that? It does. It's come on."
What do you mean,
man.
like the red
And
thing's supposed to be on the bottom?
so I had the red thing on top of the white parts,
Right.
and it's supposed to be the red things are on the bottom and the white
Ah.
parts are on top. But those things are not like they're not on top of each other. It's just that when you put them all together, it's so hard to explain. Like
know,
north,
yeah.
south, east, and west. Like imagine it's north. You have 4 quadrants, right? 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or noon, 3 o'clock, 6, 9, right?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
The red pieces are at noon and 6, and the white and black pieces are at 3 and 9.
Mhm.
But so it doesn't really matter which is on top and which is below. But for
Right.
whatever reason, the game wants the red things on top.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh, fuck off. And I wrote like, this makes me not want to play this. Like it's already confusing enough to
Yeah.
have this minor. I'm like, fuck off.
Because now you got to layer it in order, haven't you?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I was so, I mean, I probably will go back and do it because it's
Yeah.
fun while you're doing it. It's just that
Doesn't
level of
sound very
specificity
fun,
and that-
Eric. Do you know what I mean?
I don't blame you for saying. I
Sounds
can't explain
like
why it's fun.
It's
It's
work.
tedious as hell, really.
So someone who says watching the thick of it is hard work, and then he makes 4 discs like appear and red on, like, what are you actually talking about? Ian in
It
the
is a
chat.
lot of
Ian in the
effort,
chat
and
says
it's-
this seems like a lot of effort. It does.
It is, and it's ridiculous how much I'm willing to put in time on this for my
Yeah.
make-believe factory that chucks shapes into the vortex.
Honestly,
at
like-
least in Factorio, it's like I'm gonna get ammunition to shoot these aliens and get
I'm,
off.
so I'm
this fucking
scared to
planet.
play these types of games because I know, like, I would get into it. I know it's
Yeah.
almost like I'm a drug addict, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
you're going, this crack is like really good. I mean, it is bad in some places, but it's great. And I'm just like, oh,
Right.
God.
It's best not to even start
I
playing
can't even
these, but
start
once you
these
do,
things.
it's easy to
Yeah.
get going.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
here's the other thing, like as with I don't remember the name of the game where you have like the arms and you're moving the little gems and stuff. Anyway, with a lot
Oh,
of these
yeah.
games, the idea is like you'll play it and then you'll realize a more efficient way to do it or a way to do it with fewer pieces required and stuff like that.
And it blows
So
your mind, and
really,
you're like, that way.
yeah, and you're like, okay, next time I'll do it in a different way because I'm thinking.
Or
of it
it'll come
different.
to you like when you're in bed, and you're like, oh, if I do it
Right.
like that,
Oh,
yeah.
exactly. The
Yeah.
shower principle, totally. So I think, the fact that, okay, yeah, I need to assemble these differently with the red thing on top or whatever. Like, okay, I'll start over and like I know how to do it efficiently so I can have a bunch of those things going and I'm excited to get back into it, I guess.
Yeah. Ian in the chat says,
It's
I'm
also
gonna
very
I'm gonna say it's a no.
I don't blame you at all.
It's a no from Ian in the chat.
Don't go near my Factorio if you can help it, people, because it's.
So it doesn't look
No,
like
Shapes 2. It's a lot of fun.
it doesn't look like Stu's coming back, is it, Eric? It's
No, it does
in the
not.
chat.
It's just going to be us.
It's just a selfie of him crying his little eyes out.
But I did get a text from Susan who said, I didn't know what sashimi was until I played Coral Island. Who says games don't teach you anything?
She also, but
Which-
speaking of Susan, she says, I would totally get addicted to this. I think it must appeal to anyone who gets off on solving logic puzzles.
It's funny you say that, Susan, because I realized this morning, I finished a crossword puzzle. And I was like, yes, that's another thing accomplished today. And Diane goes, accomplished? You did a crossword. I was like, yeah, but check it out. I do this to myself every morning. When I get up, like while I'm, before I take a shower, I do a Duolingo lesson. I want to keep my 900-day streak going. I do there's this game on the New York Times app called Connections or Categories, which we talked about before. They ripped it off a British TV show or whatever. Yeah. I do the Wordle. I'm now into the Wordle. I'm one of those people. And then there's this game Flow, which I've talked about on the phone.
you love
It's the
Flow.
best mobile game of all time. They have daily puzzles as well. So I have those 4 things to do before I've even had a shower. So it's
Fucking
like
hell.
I set myself these goals. It's ridiculous. And then on the weekends, I'm also like, while we eat breakfast, I will do a Sudoku and I'll do a crossword puzzle.
How do you
So,
get
like,
the
I'm
time? Because
achieving all
I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I'm already 17 minutes late.
Well, that's the thing is I give myself a lot of time in the morning in order to do the things that
I
are important,
max
like
out-
practice Spanish and
You people like you really upset me because I max out the bedtime stuff, right? Like
yeah.
the longer I can have in bed, the better. And I start to convince myself. Say I've got to be in work for like 9 o'clock or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I go, well, I it's going to take me half an hour to get out of bed, ready, go. Mate, it'll take me an hour if I have breakfast, and I go, don't need breakfast. Half an hour. Actually, if I just wear this and don't do that, then it'll take me 20 minutes.
I really need a shower.
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
smelling okay.
actually, if I really like do it quickly, I could do it in 15 minutes, and then
but there's two things involved.
You know what?
Like,
It doesn't matter if
first
I'm
of all,
late.
it's
Actually, it doesn't matter if I'm late.
I'm the fucking boss. What are they gonna do?
What are they
Fuck me?
gonna
Fuck
do?
off.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think age may start to play with you on that. It
Yeah.
may be that you get up a little earlier. The older
Yeah.
you get, we'll see. Obviously, I'm sure your daughter doesn't love for you to lie around in the morning.
She slept till 10:30 this morning.
Wow, I stand
10:30.
corrected.
She was just like,
I think
loving
chill
it.
parents have chill kids. I really do think you
My
and
dad
Tara are
said to
just
me,
chill, so.
my dad, I took Rose to see my dad yesterday, and she's a very laid back baby, very happy, smiles a lot. And my dad was like, you were like that, to be fair. Like, you were very laid back, very easy
There
to
you
look
go.
after and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe,
Was your
maybe-
brother also like that, or was
No,
he
absolutely
rabble-rousing?
opposite.
Okay.
Opposite.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know Tara very well, but it seems like you two get along in that same way. You both have that same kind of vibe of like just
Yeah.
it's cool. We'll
She has a
chill,
bit more
it's
get
all
up and
good."
go than I do. I have
Yeah,
like my
well.
brother says, if I was any more laid back, I'll be dead. Dead.
So the other thing is,
Yeah.
that I think the intensity of the job of being a teacher.
Yes.
Just it means that when I wake up, I've got 700 things I got to do
course.
before the kids show up.
Yeah.
So like I have this narration going in
Yeah.
my head all the time. And
You're going into
therefore-
war every day, aren't you? Right, basically,
I
you're
am.
going into
and,
battle.
and as a result, the brain just doesn't turn that off on the weekend.
No.
So it's like 5 a.m. Okay, you got to
Yeah.
start working on stuff because the kids are coming in soon.
Yeah.
And
See,
yeah.
but
So
I
anyway,
always say
whatever. It is what it is.
when we're filming something, that's like going into war because you never really know
Sure.
what you're going to expect.
Yeah.
Like you could go in and look, there's I've done stuff where I walk into a warehouse and there's a broken down bus in there. I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? Right, So
Yeah.
it's there's always something. So on those days, I'm a little bit more fuck. I've got to get up, but I still
Right,
push it. I
right.
still push it though. I still like.
Oh yeah.
I got a real rash on my face. I don't know why. Anyway, Phaser in the chat says, "Hey guys, haven't watched in a while live. Hope all is well."
Hey.
Well, we've sacked Stu off tonight. We said, "Stu,
Told him to fuck off.
got the
We're
sack.
sick of your shit.
yeah." So that's gone.
Stu, you are wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah,
So
should we talk about the game that we played?
yeah,
my
let's talk
game?
about Close
Okay.
to the Sun.
Yeah, bitch! Yeah, bitch! Play my game, play my game, bitch.
Yeah, it's got the Breaking Bad connection.
Yeah, bitch!
It's really odd
Now,
when you play a sound
listeners who-
effect like that, and we're just on the webcam. We're just sitting here,
Staring at
just,
things.
just staring. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll dance, but not this time.
No.
People who tuned in last week will recall that we had audio footage of the developers for
Oh, yeah.
the game we played last week. For
Yeah,
those who are
yeah,
just
yeah.
tuning in, we played the same game and we talk about it. Well, this week, two of
Oh,
us
well,
played it because
yeah.
Stu probably played it, but
Who
we don't know.
knows?
It sucks to be him having played it because I'm sure whatever. So it's interesting because this week we played Close to the Sun,
Yeah.
and we actually have audio footage of those developers
Ah.
planning the game as well. All right, guys, check it out, man. I got this idea for a game.
Sorry, I just woke up.
All
What?
right. It's okay, man. I know you
Bit of
have
sleep.
trouble getting out of bed some
Yeah.
days, man. It's all good, dude. All right, so here's the thing. Check it out. I got this
Yeah.
idea, right?
Okay, got it.
Okay, you're this person, right? And you're coming into this like basically like a city, and it's like it's supposed to be this amazing heavenly place where everybody's happy and it's like technology is moving in the right direction, but it's like empty and it's like there's bodies and like blood, and you got to like figure out what happened.
I've got an idea. Can we put Nikola Tesla in the game for no reason?
Excuse me, the two of you, this sounds a lot like BioShock.
Shut up.
Dude, fuck off, man.
Get the fuck out.
Nobody asked you, first of all.
Fuck's
And
sake.
secondly, it's nothing like BioShock
Nothing
because
like
here's
it.
the thing, idiot. This game, like, it's got the creepiest design element ever. It's got Art Deco stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
Now,
and it's,
that's exactly like BioShock.
Shut up. No, it's
Shut the
it's
fuck
it's
up.
on a fucking boat. We put it on a boat.
I thought it was
dickhead.
going to be in space,
No,
man.
no, we put it on a boat, dickhead.
Okay.
And
it's
who
a
are you
boat.
anyway?
That's cool too. Yeah. Never mind. I'm here to help with. I'm a consultant. I'm here to help you with your
Get the
game development.
fuck- I
Here's
hate
the
you.
thing. Look.
Get the fuck out.
Okay, well,
you're
how are you
stopping,
going to tell
you're
the
stopping
story?
the creative
just,
flow.
No, just answer the question. How are we going to tell the story? We're going to tell the story, dude, with like a whole bunch of notes that were left behind by all the
Yeah,
dead people.
notes and stuff.
That's like BioShock.
Shut
the
the
fuck
fuck
up with
up.
BioShock.
God,
Oh,
you and
God,
Bioshock
I hate
just
that game.
fucking. Oh. This game is
that's
Bioshock.
This game is BioShock. It's exactly like BioShock.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was because Stu sent a text that said, "All right, I got 2 ideas for playing my game,
Yeah.
and they're both on Game Pass. Should we play We
BioShock?
Happy Few
Oh.
or Close to the Sun?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, I don't want to play We Happy Few because that's like a dystopian
It's like a
thing. And you're always
BioShock.
running away from scary things." Right. And then I was like, so let's just play Close to the Sun.
Yeah, it's like
and then I
that's
go to download it yesterday, and I'm like, oh, fuck me.
It's
This is
like
exactly
BioShock.
BioShock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Well,
I
to
don't
put
know.
it-
What did you think?
I've got my first note here. It says it feels like Bioshock. That's what I put. That's what I put on it. All right. And then I put my second note was more games should take place on a boat. It just seems like a great place to put a game. You know.
Yeah.
There's a
that's
game called
fine.
Titanic: An Adventure Through Time or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Right, and it's an FMV game. This game came out in 1996, by the way. Right,
The one you're talking about, not
yeah,
Close to the
yeah.
Sun.
Me and Marsh,
Titanic game.
me and Marsh played this Titanic game so fucking much, and it was basically you're a time traveler on the Titanic, and it was your job to stop the Titanic from sinking. Right.
Wow. All you got to do is like watch out for that iceberg, and they're like,
All you
okay,
got to
I'll turn
do
left.
is
Like,
go to
is-
the
is there
captain's
much
thing,
game there?
right, and just go,
Right.
just go left a bit.
Fuck off! I'm controlling the boat. And
No,
then
you gotta
stab
get.
him, and
You
then
can't get it here. You need
turn
the
it to the
key,
left.
which is in the engine room.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
fucking hell.
Fine, I'll
Just-
be right back.
Just
One
turn
of
left a
each.
bit. Just turn left a bit. It's fine.
Fuck off. Do you want some
Um,
coffee?
Anyway, so yeah, no, I like you
Would you
know,
like some coffee?
Fuck off.
fuck off. Well, come the fuck in or fuck the fuck off is one of the ones. Yes, more games should take place in the boat. What I did like about this game, Duke, because it is BioShock with no combat basically, no combat
Right.
at all. BioShock. So far, I'm on chapter 3, the very short chapters.
Oh God, you got like much further than I did.
Very short chapters.
I got the elevator working, and then I was like, all right, I'm fucking done
Yeah,
with this
yeah.
shit.
I mean, that's literally
Gave it an
like
actual.
you literally
honest
walked
try.
in a straight line when it left.
No, you have to go.
Oh,
to
you
the
gotta go
side
right, and
rooms
then you gotta go
throw all
left,
the
yeah.
doors that won't open.
No,
yeah.
so there's a few there's creepy things happening, isn't there? There's like doors closing.
yeah, there's
and
jump
like,
scares.
Yeah, and like people like looking for a window and then switching the light off
lights
and stuff.
exploding.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that stuff. What I liked about the game though, other than it feels like BioShock, I don't know if we mentioned it. that you-
I think it's a little more like BioShock
Yeah,
myself, but
yeah.
you know, if you're going to say it's BioShock, that's fine.
So you feel like you're in the world, and what I mean by that is like
Yeah.
you look down, you can see your feet. The character touches
Right.
things. There's at
Yeah.
one point there's a bunch of dead bodies in it. You didn't get there, but there's a bunch of dead bodies in a room, and there's flies around, and she'll waft the flies
Oh.
away and stuff like that. And I like
It's
that.
right. It's that movement connectivity with the world
Yeah.
like we get in Far Cry. That's
Yeah.
the thing I love about Far Cry. When you get
Yes.
in a car in Far Cry, you don't just appear in the
No.
car. You have
You
your
get in it.
arm, or maybe you're going through the
Yeah, you
window.
get
and
in
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Same with reloading
I
and
love that
unjamming or whatever.
about Uncharted was where like he touches things, you know, like he really
sure.
feels like he's there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. So there's some great things about it, and also the character talks, because I hate it when I
Yeah.
said it's such a dated concept of like the main character not talking. It's I
Right.
hate
And
it.
especially
I just don't think it should be
especially in a situation like this. Sorry
Yeah.
for interrupting, but like
No.
I think if any of us was on a creepy ass empty boat
Yeah.
with quarantine on the wall, you'd probably start talking to yourself like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah,
man?
like if somebody
So
went,
it does
if you saw somebody in a window or a light off, you go fuck, like you,
Yeah.
I would. So
Yeah.
and also the weird thing about BioShock we haven't mentioned, but it's a bit like BioShock. So people radio you in BioShock, don't they? They go, oh, thank God you made it. Make sure you go to the thing.
Yeah.
The guy says, does he talk in BioShock? Does he? I don't think he talks, does he?
I don't think he does. No.
No, but I think he does in Infinite. I think, but
Maybe. I
but
don't
like
know.
he never talks back. It's like, who is
Yeah,
that person on the other side of the radio just talking to like a, you know?
Just turn the radio off if you're willing to do what I say.
But you play as a woman called Rose, and she's talking to the person.
Mhm.
She's looking for her sister, and then
Yeah.
she took then
Right.
somebody.
Is anyone here? At one point, she
Yeah.
calls out like
Yeah.
"hello," which is cool.
So I like that stuff. So I think that it's done
Yeah.
a few things. But I got about 3 chapters in, and you know, there's a lot of like, oh, there's a code that you need, and it's in the room somewhere, and you press the
Right,
code,
right.
and you open this. And I mean, I flew through these 3 chapters like they're nothing,
Mm.
basically.
Yeah.
And I basically, sorry, I keep saying basically. Basically, I got to the gist where, you know, you go to a room, and like the person who's supposed to be in there is not in there, and you've got to go to another room, and you know, not particularly mind blowing in terms of what you're doing or the story. This is my hesitation with Close to the BioShock is that I feel like I've played these games before, and it's intriguing where they're going to end up, but it's usually shit.
Right.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's the thing. I know I'm not going to play this, so I'm probably just going to go look and see like what the story actually is and what it
Yeah.
ends up being about and what went wrong with this whole experiment. And I know that it's set in the turn of the century. I guess it's maybe New York or something like that, but it's just the fact that it looks, in terms of like the design, again with the Art Deco stuff and the fonts, like it looks so much like BioShock. And I'm just like, just make it different. Like, just your design elements don't have to look so close to BioShock.
Yeah.
So,
It does look a little bit like BioShock, to be fair. I haven't noticed.
But maybe they were leaning into it. Maybe they were like, okay, look, we're going to go in a different direction from BioShock, but we want to pay homage to that whole feel of it.
Yeah.
If it's intentional, I can understand why you might do that, but I just don't think it works.
But even like
in terms of
even
game
like
your
the
own.
title card,
Yeah.
you know, and the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everything,
Oh, yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
close to it.
Oh yeah,
I
Art
don't
Deco,
know.
and then like the icons when you get close to something and you can like manipulate a lever or something,
Yeah.
it's like beige on brown in like a little diamond shape, and I'm like, that's just Art Deco, like BioShock. Stop it.
Yeah.
It's just like
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I'd say probably it's a no from me, but you seem to be sticking
I,
with it.
you know
Do you
what?
think
I
you'll
don't,
finish it?
I don't know. It's a tough one really because I've got so many games to play, but it just seems like compared to Alan Wake, this isn't scary at all. Like this is
Right,
just like
yeah.
it's like a walk
Sure.
in a fucking park. This one. Right?
This will be your light refresher after you
Honestly,
play
I
some
was
Alan
I
Wake.
was
You'll
I was
just-
having no fear. I was just like walking through. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, something's there.
Yeah.
Right, fine. Didn't get scared. Well, Alan Wake is just death and destruction every corner.
Yeah.
So
It's
they
just somebody with a red paintbrush writing quarantine on the wall. Like,
That's
"Ah,
it. Yeah. So the games that they've made before. This is a developer called Storm in a Teacup is the name of the developer.
Yeah, it is. That's right. Yeah.
And they made a game called Lantern, which was a VR, I think, game. And then Enki, I don't know what that is, but it's a game. So they haven't got like a huge pedigree. To be fair, for some, they're based in Rome. For some developer I've never heard of that made a few games, it's pretty like well made. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
I think it's well made. It's intriguing, well acted. There's no major flaws other than I feel like we've all been here before, and I just have
Right.
this sinking feeling that this is not going to be worth it. It's just going to be your sister's dead and you were just talking to somebody in your head, and like
Right,
you
yeah,
know, it's
exactly.
just I'm because BioShock was so brilliant in deceiving you. It's you're like, this isn't my sister. My sister's a maniac. Maybe she killed everyone.
Right,
You're
right,
on
right,
guard
right. Oh, yeah,
all
sure.
the time.
Right. Same with movies after The Sixth Sense or Fight Club. Like I'm not gonna get fooled by some crazy twist. So the whole time you're watching it, I bet it's this, I bet it's that.
You're
so when you get to
always
something like
looking
Now
for
You
it.
See Me, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like if it's gonna have any kind of shock value, it's got to be completely convoluted and pretty much nonsensical.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
It's really tough. There aren't many movies that do it. You know, like Shutter Island might have done it and stuff like that, but it's
Right,
rare.
and that's the thing is that like, I quote this line from a guy named Russ Hills all the time. Mystery as a technique puts the audience into competition with the storyteller rather than cooperation.
Yeah.
The best movies are the ones that everyone's, you feel like you're on an adventure together with even Glass Onion, like, okay, there's twists, but it's not really about the twists in Glass Onion. And I can't remember the original. I mean, Knives Out is the same way. Like, yes, there's twists, but you're not waiting to figure out like, oh, it's this, it's that. The characters are so interesting along the way.
Yeah.
And the story.
I love Glass Onion, by the way. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Glass
Oh,
Onion.
it's great.
I watched Knives Out. I did like it at the time, but I don't remember it as well as Glass Onion. God, I love that so much.
I want to watch them both again. So
Yeah,
maybe we'll do
me
that next
and
weekend.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Anything else about Close to the Sun?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel bad because I feel like I want to play it more, but it's tough, isn't it? You're competing with the creme de la creme here, and it's really difficult. And we've just all been here before, you know, things like Dave the Diver, where I know this is a weird segue, but the you know, it's a game that just like no one sees coming and no one's ever sort of really played. So like, I feel like gamers are really hungry for just something that they just don't. I've never been here, you know.
Even Dave the Diver, like it's a cooking game, it's an exploring game, it's a crafting game. Like it's not revolutionary new, but what it does is it combines the things that already exist in slightly different amounts.
It's a weird.
That's good.
It's a weird comparison, I know, but I'm just thinking of like what games do really well now, and why, you know, this is a perfectly fine BioShock clone, and why no one really talks about it is because we're always looking for that thing that we don't know if we've ever done it, or you know.
Sure.
There you go. So Close to the Sun.
I got a little news. Should we do some news?
I'll give it a thumbs up anyway. I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
All right, so there you go, people. You have to break the tie, everybody. Stu, let us know what you thought and break the tie.
I think Stu's going to like it. I think Stu's going to like it.
I think Stu probably did like it. I can totally see him liking it. I'm going to say Close to Sun.
Yeah. Make him record like an audio message.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Here, wait. Thumbs up or not. Send a speak pipe.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've asked that of Stu.
News.
Yeah, I got some news. Okay, here we go.
Let's go.
Putting news first.
You don't usually have news. What's going on?
Well, I figured Stu was going to be gone. I'll look for some news, and maybe we can talk about some news. I don't know. Apple's goggles are now out.
Oh yeah, Vision Pro.
Have you seen people driving their cars?
Yeah,
wearing
I've
these
seen
things?
people driving their Tesla trucks using these.
Yeah, that's a crazy video, man. Hopefully you saw the video. You didn't actually see someone doing that.
No. I haven't seen them in the flesh. I've seen videos of people like ordering food in a restaurant and you know, basically just getting attention for themselves. Yeah.
Of course. Look what I have.
It's you know, but I don't know. It's interesting because it does do the thing that I suppose, you know, everybody sort of thought this was going, you know, like to see the world and people's things pop out, and you know, it is doing.
For those who don't know, this is augmented reality rather than virtual reality. You have goggles on your face, but it's not opaque the way most VR headsets are.
Yeah, AR is definitely more interesting than VR for me, like because it's inclusive into the world. It's not exclusive, right? So AR is definitely more, but it's harder to pull off, and obviously Apple have done it. I'm a bit skeptical about how actual useful it is, or because at the moment it's just people flexing, isn't it? It's just people like, look, I'm wearing.
Of course, right.
So,
but according to the New York Post, they sold out after getting 200,000 pre-orders.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I made a bet with Stu, and I think it was 1 million units that I said that would mark it as a success. I can see that happening, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. It might just be the tech dorks, the Apple fanboys, flooding the market right now with their demands.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them, and the reviews aren't terrible. Like the reviews are like, it's, you know, it's heavy, it's slow, it's kind of, you know, doesn't have a lot of memory. But on the other hand, like, it's actually functioning augmented reality.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you know, people are driving with them, which is insane.
It is insane.
I enjoy that very.
I saw a quote from Apple. It was like, you know, you don't do this.
Yeah,
just don't
enjoy this very short window where it's legal to drive with one of those on, because it won't be very legal for very long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you know, I can see, you know, there's a technology show in is it Vegas or LA, the CES,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
where they do like transparent TVs and things like that. I could definitely see a world where we get a transparent monitor on a car that has a camera going out, can see things and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's cool because of what it. Because the potential for it is, this actual piece of tech does not feel very cool to me.
No, and it's
I could not
bizarre,
care
isn't
less
it? It
about
is.
this
It
one.
is the start of like, this is fucking weird, man. But like, is this just? It's just the start of it, and we're not used to it, and then eventually, like smartphones, everybody just is on their smartphone now. So
well, and I keep saying to my students and all my teacher friends, like, what's going to happen in 20 years is this technology will be in contact lenses. And you'll have something on your fingers and chips and things that will recognize when you're clicking something. You won't need a mouse. You won't need a controller. It'll just be in your fingers. Yeah. And every student in my classroom will be looking at me and nodding and smiling. And between me and them, they're going to be looking at TikTok and Minecraft and Facebook and Snapchat. And
but how do you police something like
well, you don't exactly. There's no right now. I can be like, put your phone away. But in the future, it'll be like,
because teenagers look gormless anyway, don't they? When they're looking at you, so like they.
Yeah. Right.
You won't tell if they're just looking at TikTok or anything, right? Anyway, So the other piece of news I would like to share, Duke, if I may,
please. Go right ahead.
is so Microsoft have got an announcement next week coming.
Okay.
Right. So Phil Nick Spencer, right, and this is sort of like a no-brainer for me, but there's been rumors of basically Microsoft won't have any more exclusive video games anymore.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're just going to be like, fuck this, we're just going to release everything.
Right.
I think it's going to be a 12-month delay, because after 12 months, who gives a fuck anyway, right? So so like Starfield, for example, will come to PlayStation whenever, a year after it came
eventually,
out.
right.
And
when nobody cares anymore.
Nobody cares anyway.
Wasn't very well received.
But I'd like, people are saying this like it's shocking. I'm like,
right.
It sounds like an easy fucking money
Why
grab.
did I even buy the Xbox?
But
I mean, that's the thing, is I think people are worried about not having something exclusive.
But who gives a fuck? Like, I don't know.
Who cares? Right. No, I agree.
Look, you've got your Xbox. You want to play it a year before everybody else. That's fine.
Right.
But I'm speaking as an adult
and
that
Sony's
can
been doing...
afford all of them, Like, you've got to be careful, because, some people are like, well, I can only buy one. And
right. But even when that's the case, like, okay, look, when I was growing up, my friends had Atari and I had Nintendo. I didn't get to play their games and they didn't get to play mine, except when we went over to each other's house. Yeah. That's the way it goes. It's not a huge deal. Like,
but it's interesting.
It's not, because look, if there were only like 10 games released each year for each console, okay, that would be one thing. But it's not. We're drowning in games.
Yeah, drowning them. But it's interesting you say that, dude, because someone who says fight the power and all that sort of stuff, because it wasn't until people started kicking off about multiplayer games, because it accidentally happened in Fortnite, in a game of Fortnite. PlayStation, for some reason, turned off the ability where people on Steam and stuff were playing with people on Fortnite. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, we didn't know it was that easy. Why aren't you doing it? And then everybody, and then through peer pressure, all the platforms caved in and was like, oh yeah, this is fucking madness. So, if you scream enough, you get what you want. From a
consumer point of view, it makes sense. Like, just no exclusives. Like, who gives a fuck?
But I suppose the argument is then, like, what are Microsoft doing, right? Like, where's their strength in the gaming market? I don't know, really.
And
Game Pass.
For me, the idea of like trying to second guess what's best for this company, like, that's never been a part of my calculus. I'm a consumer. I'm a gamer. I like to play games. Give me games.
I think
company can figure their own.
They're looking at the Game Pass money, aren't they? They're just looking at this money and going, look, we need people to sign up to Game Pass, and then so they've spent millions, multi-millions, billions on getting developers. So what they're looking at is a spreadsheet that goes, right, we bought Bethesda, we've got rid of Starfield, that's out there. How do we make more money on the same shit? Right, look within, they say, don't they, with business. Like, look within, you've got the talent within.
Right.
And then somebody just went, why don't we just sell it on PlayStation? We'll just make more money for free, basically. Like, it's just you know.
Yeah, you got to keep expanding that market or that. Yeah. And like, it's the same with McDonald's. Like you're the CEO of McDonald's. You have to, increase your profit share. What the fuck are you going to do? Cut your ingredients? You're already selling sawdust and calling it hamburgers. You're going to pay your workers less? Whatever. You're paying them the minimum wage, which Chris Rock said, you know what they're trying to tell you? If I could pay you less, I would, but it's against the law.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do? Add a new item on the menu? Like, well, they've already tried everything.
Yeah.
McGyro is next, or McCurry.
Chocolate fries. That's what they should do. Get me on the
Fucking
board.
Taco Bell has like spicy chili fries and shit. It's like, oh god.
Get me on the board, Mackie D's. Come on.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
So anyway, yeah.
All right, I got a
interesting, but
couple other
we'll
news
know next
things
week
if
what
you
they
want.
say. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, totally. Kotaku had a headline that said, Madden, speaking of the Super Bowl, Madden's Super Bowl predictions are more accurate than you think.
Okay.
Let's hope EA's long-running NFL sim got it wrong with this year's pick. I mean, they get into it like, here's what the Madden prediction was, and here's what the real result was. It looks like they've been right a lot, but not, consistently. I'd be curious to know if it's more or less accurate than, Vegas bookmakers or whatever. I mean, who really knows? But I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. That.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I don't pay much attention to American football.
I've got a bit of news here that the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game came out.
Yes.
And it's mixed. Very, very mixed.
Okay.
Do we know about
The reviews, you mean? Or
yeah.
You play it?
No, I haven't played it. Of course I haven't played it. I don't play video games anymore.
Sure.
So these are the people that made all the Batman games. And
yeah.
Are you aware that why everybody started to hate Suicide Squad?
No.
Because
I know there was a movie that people didn't care for. But.
Well, there's two, and the last one was very good.
Okay.
It also had Peter Capaldi in it, from The Thick of It. Anyway, so back to The Thick of It. We're always going back to that. So they released a gameplay demo a year or so ago, and it very much looked like a live service game, sort of, aka Destiny sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, what the fuck? And I feel like they've reeled back on it a bit, but it is still pretty much the same thing. Most people are saying it's weird because the game got released and was like, oh no, it's not very good, and then people's like, well, it's not that bad. And so I feel like it's kind of gone. The needle's like sort of gone back in the middle now. It went to really good and really bad, and it's just a very mid game, as the kids say. So a lot of people have been up in arms about that. It's not the worst thing that they could have done, but I feel like with Rocksteady, such a good caliber, such a good series of hits. And they, it just wasn't what everybody wanted. So
wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Any more news, too?
Yeah, a couple other stories. I thought this was interesting. There's a Palestine. I know, right? Well, go looking. Maybe you can do it. Stu's going to break the tie next week about Close to the Sun. So assuming his hamster powering his internet is feeling up to running again.
He's got something he wants to say. That's why.
I guess so. Can't just put it in a speak pipe.
No.
He's special. So anyway, Palestine's skating game team urgently raising money for developer in Gaza. I would think that they would have more urgent things to worry about than game developing, but I mean, hey, life goes on and finds a way.
Who knows?
So here's the story from Polygon. Before Israel's war in Gaza, Palestinian programmer Doa Gandour was working on Palestine skating games grind rails. Any skater, be that skateboarding or roller skating, knows that rails are essential to street-style skating. In Palestine's skating game, these grind rails weave through the West Bank, Tony Hawk's pro skater style, for use as you spray graffiti on the Israeli-built separation wall. You had me at spraying graffiti on the wall. It's easy to see the appeal of this game in its early prototype, yada, 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 Arabic electronic music, that's cool. It's designed to be enticing, but Gandour's been unable to focus on Palestine's skating game as Israeli forces continue to destroy Gaza. His home was destroyed by an Israeli airstrike on December 3rd, killed family members. Oh, geez. So they're looking to raise $4,800 in funding for the family through GoFundMe. I just think that's cool. People using video games to raise funds for people in need. And, solidarity with other game developers who are experiencing basically war crimes.
Yeah, it's tough stuff, isn't it? And Susan posted that story about the developers of Stalker 2. That are from the Ukraine.
Okay. Yeah, right, from Ukraine, yeah,
and it's weird because they made a game set in post-apocalyptic Ukraine,
right?
And then the war breaks out in Ukraine,
right?
And then they're like, and then some people from the development team moved to, I think it was Prague, to carry on the development of the game. and some people actually fought and sadly died in the war of Ukraine that worked on the game. So it must have been such a surreal. Like you work for years on this game that's based on your home country being like torn apart, and then all of a sudden in like a matter of weeks it looks like that.
Not just a game anymore now. It's your life.
Crazy, absolutely insane.
Totally.
A
couple other things real quick. Helldivers 2 passes God of War to become PlayStation's biggest Steam launch yet, which is very interesting. This is another example of success for PlayStation's PC strategy. I never played Helldivers 1.
No, I don't really know much about it, really, Helldivers.
Third-person shooter. Yeah, the company's biggest Steam launch to date. 81,840 peak concurrent players just one day after release. That beats God of War's previous peak of 73,000, yada, yada, yada. So I don't know. It looks, I don't know. I've seen a lot of reviews talking about how hard it is, and there were some critiques about some of the UI elements and what the game offers.
What is it like? Is it a multiplayer game? Like, what is it?
Yeah, I think it's like a mixed rating on Steam with over 10,000 reviews. Like other multiplayer games, it has a rough launch with server and matchmaking issues. The game got anti-cheat software, could prevent the game from launching in some places, but they did a patch right away and so forth. So yeah, I don't really know much about what kind of game it is, but a lot of people like it.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, it looks a little bit like Lost Planet, a little bit. Strangely enough.
I think there's some comparisons to be made there. A game that does not look like Lost Planet is Skull and Bones.
Oh.
And apparently there's an open beta. I didn't realize that was happening, but yeah, I like this headline. It says Skull and Bones is less the pirate life and more the Division. And I really like the Division games, so that makes me interested.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm interested in Skull and Bones because I think me and Marsh was like looking to play it, but yeah.
So this says the game started as a DLC / spin-off of Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah.
It morphed into a standalone game that took nearly a decade to complete. I can confidently tell you that it is the Division with pirate ships. That's a bit reductive, but truthfully, if you've played open world MMO looter shooter The Division or its DC-based sequel, you'll be familiar with Skull and Bones and its core gameplay loop. You make a character, start off in a small enclosed area, learn the basics, walk around a public hub populated by other players, do some quests, leave that starting area, and enter the main world, which uses the same basic formula, but on a bigger scale with more systems. Now, to be fair, that doesn't sound like The Division. That sounds like every Ubisoft game at this point.
It does, yeah.
So
Ghost Recon, everything, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that makes me sound interesting.
Makes you like wonder why it took so long then. If it's just very similar to all their other games, I don't know.
Exactly. You're not inventing anything new here, right?
Strange.
That's a good question. Anyway, one last one, which is specifically for you, Stu, if you're listening.
Oh.
Hey-o. The headline from Kotaku is Valve to Steam Deck owners, stop huffing its vent fumes.
People sniffing the vent fumes on.
I guess. Here's what it says. Have you ever taken a break from playing your Steam Deck to sample the complex fragrances emanating from its exhaust vent? If so, you aren't alone. Since the release of the handheld PC, and there are lots of links here, many owners have reported that they can't stop sniffing the fumes that waft out of the Steam Deck during play. It's become kind of a meme among Steam Deck owners, with folks often posting online how much they enjoy the distinctive aroma. I'm one of those sickos, says the author of this article, sticking my nose right above the exhaust and taking a big whiff each time I play. But someone finally asked Valve about this, and it turns out the company wants you all to knock it off. On December 12th, Reddit user blah, blah, blah shared a screenshot showing them asking Steam support if it was, quote, safe to inhale the exhaust fumes from the Steam Deck's top vent. The user pointed out that people enjoying the smell has become somewhat of a meme and admitted that many folks really like doing it. Valve's response had the same vibes of a school teacher telling kids kindly but firmly to stop eating paste. Quote, as with all electronics, it is generally not recommended you inhale the exhaust fumes on your device. They said, while there are no safety concerns with general usage, directly inhaling the device's vent fumes should be avoided. So, yeah.
I mean, like, that's like a... fumes. I'm shocked they didn't say, yeah, because we snuck a load of cocaine in those.
It's kind of like vaping, except you don't have to buy vapes.
Does it? What does it? Does it give like a electronic sort of smell? Like what is it?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea what the.
Tell you what, Valve fans are fucking weird, aren't they?
They are weird.
They're so weird.
And I'm surprised Stu hasn't done this yet, or maybe he's so
yeah.
ashamed of the fact that he does.
What
it
do you
when
think
he
his
plays it.
internet packed up? He's been sniffing
It's not
every.
his internet. His internet's fine.
No.
He just fell out of his chair. He's like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
No,
I need
every
to go smell some
ne-
fumes.
every electric device with a fan, he's just sniffing it now.
I can't get the same high as I get from the
Oh,
Steam Deck.
yeah,
That's why he needed to get a new one. He wanted
That's what
two
it-
of
yeah.
them for twice
yeah,
the.
both nostrils.
The OLED fumes are so much better than the regular fumes,
Yeah.
dude.
I just imagine him on a documentary. You know
Oh,
those
man.
people that take, that sniff air and stuff. Just like him.
Yeah.
Just I can't stop doing that. So weird. Stop fucking
Steam
sniffing your
Deck
Steam
fumes.
Decks. Stop it.
Not even once. Come on, people.
Look, I don't.
Have
You know
some
why? You know why
self-respect.
Valve never.
Now we say that maybe that's just because we haven't smelled it. Maybe we would love it if
you know,
we tried it.
You know why Valve have never said anything about it before? It's because it's fucking stupid, right? They
They
haven't
assume
also.
people had more common
they-
sense than
they
that
didn't-
shit. It's the same reason Apple didn't say, "Do not wear these while driving."
Yeah, like they also said, don't play a Steam Deck underwater. Because they just assume no one would do that.
Well, they say every warning label has a story behind it. So when in the U.S. they have to have all these notifications on the drug commercials.
Yeah.
And it says, "Do not take Zegabla if you are allergic to Zegabla." And it's
Yeah.
like, well, fucking duh.
Yeah. If you have a heart, don't take this.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Stop sniffing your
Crazy.
your Steam Decks. You
Yes,
fucking
please,
weirdo.
people, come on.
Yeah. Stop.
All right, we got some questions on the Discord that we
Oh,
want to talk
Discord.
about. All right.
Discord. Discord.
Not the best jingle I ever made, but
Discord.
No, it's all right.
Discord.
Notice me and you
I haven't
can't.
been on the Discord in a minute.
Ah, you should go on.
But,
There's lots of stuff going on.
Should.
there.
I'm sure there's good things going on. It's just
Yeah, we're always.
I,
talking.
I feel like every app that I install is weighing my computer down more, and I just don't want to take any chances on like causing it to crash
Yeah,
again.
you got to
But,
install
I mean,
like
that's silly.
Minesweeper, and it's just going to explode your PC.
Well, at least if it does explode, I'll have some nice fumes to sniff. About PC fumes, man. Come on.
So on the Discord, we've got Fletch, and he said, "I've just finished Oblivion Ninroot quest.
Oh yeah, the Nirnroot
Nirnroot?
Oblivion or
Oblivion. That's what he said.
Skyrim.
He said Oblivion.
Because there's, wow, I don't remember the Nirnroot
So
quest.
he said, finding 10, 20, 30, then 40, spending the best part of my gaming time this week, walking down a river, finding them. Despite feeling quite the achievement, I also thought, why do I spend so much time? Sorry, I'll do it in the right accent. Why do I spend so much time on just one quest at one time? Any quests?
Because it's the game telling you to do it, is why.
Must do the game. Any quests in games you feel are a bit silly but couldn't help focusing all your effort on?
Yeah.
So is there any quests that in games, Duke, where you're like, I've got to do it, I've got to do all the things?
I mean, I don't remember. I'm looking now on the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages, and it does have. It's called Seeking Your Roots. You have to collect a certain number of Nirnroot to return to this skin grad dude. But the one that people often talk about is in Skyrim. You have to collect in Blackreach. There's this area that's underground. It's this enormous cavernous, basically like a city underground.
I very vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to cross through it, but most people who play the game just go straight through it and
Yep.
don't bother fucking around, which makes sense. But there is a secret dragon you could fight in there if you want. Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
Anyway, there's a person before you go in who's like, hey, if you're going in there, get me 30 Crimson Nirnroot, would you? So it's the same plant, except they're red. And this area is fucking dark as shit. So doing it is a big pain in the ass because you're looking in these dark corners under rocks and shit, and like, you can either use magic to keep lighting lights around you, or you have a torch that keeps going out, or if you have mods, you can have a little light on your belt or something. But anyway, yeah, that one was a pain in the ass. But my first playthrough, I was like, I want to do as many quests as I can, and so that one I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that.
I did not do that.
I'll blame you.
Because I must have saw that guy and
Probably
was
for the
like,
best.
fuck, yeah, I'll get him, mate. Yeah, I'll get him.
I'll be right back. Wait here.
He's still waiting there now. So he's going to come back.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
He told me The quests that I question my life on why I've done. Well, I've done. Yeah, I mean, I've not done the 100% on Red Dead 2, and it was the one that broke me. It was really weird, actually, why I stopped doing it, because there's one where you've got to kill certain animals with certain weapons, right?
Okay.
Because that way you get the best, like, skin. You know, like if you kill it with an arrow, you don't spoil the fur or whatever, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
you have to kill certain animals with certain things, and it's a possum. It was a possum, and I didn't know what playing possum meant. Right, I didn't know what that was because we don't really get possums in the UK. Well, we must do, but I don't really come across them very much. But so the playing possum is basically playing dead, isn't that right, Eric? That's
yeah,
dead.
exactly.
Right. So apparently possums play dead. Is that a thing? Is that what they do?
Yeah, right. Yep.
So you have to look in a very, very particular area in the map for a possum, and then kill it with a certain thing. And could I find these possums? No. And then every time I found one,
not only that, but you have to have a perfect corpse.
yeah, I
right?
have to kill it perfectly. And once I killed it and I didn't kill it, once one got away and I didn't kill it,
yeah, sure.
and then eventually I did it. Like I actually got the skin, and then put the game down. I was like, I can't be fucking doing with it, and I never played it again.
What am I fucking doing?
Yeah. So I've since started the game again. Looked for that possum skin and it wasn't there, and I was like, oh no. So yeah, I wasn't sure if I needed to do it again or not, but
it's right. And it's interesting, I've said this before, like the fact that something's on a quest list, just having a quest journal makes such a difference to me. You know what I mean? If somebody were to just tell me, if you were to tell me like, hey, go on an MMO and kill 50 of the cow-like monsters, I'd be like, fuck off, who cares? But the game tells me to do it, and I'm just like, yes, I will. I want to have that checked off.
You know what game did that really well was BioShock. We haven't really mentioned it.
Oh man, I remember that game.
Yeah, BioShock. Yeah.
I wish we could make a game now that was sort of like it.
Thanks, Dan, for your question. Mint Safe says Xbox games coming to PlayStation. Just seen it on Facebook, so it must be true. Can Halo and Gears of War actually make their way to PlayStation? I hope so. As a PS5 owner, those titles are one of the ones that I miss from the good old 360 days. Well, first of all, Mint Safe, don't go back. They're fucking awful. No, they're not. But what I'm saying is, don't hide them in too high a regard, because going back is tough. I think they will. Whether Halo will, why not? I suppose, because why not? If they're sending Starfield over and everything, why not? What? Who gives a shit? Like if they released Halo collection on the PlayStation, look, why not? Look, doesn't it make perfect business?
What's the downside?
What's the downside?
Because I mean, that's the other thing, is that like Microsoft is a monopoly in the first place. So if they broke apart its game studio, like that doesn't affect the bigger.
But a few people said, like, are they going to even make consoles anymore? I'm like, yeah, probably, because you know what? They shit money. They shit money.
Yeah, sure.
So they can take the loss of a console over making loads of money from games. So yeah. Thanks, Mintsafe, for the question. Fraser says, where do you see Xbox in 10 years? Well, my Xbox, that's probably going to be sold on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh my God!
What?
Sorry, I just remembered something. I wanted to watch Spinal Tap this weekend.
Oh yeah, with the commentary.
And with the commentary. And I realized I had a DVD of it, and I'm like, okay, because I was thinking about, we may have to rent it and stream it on the TV.
I've got the Spinal Tap commentary DVD as well in my house.
But I didn't have a way to play my DVD. And then I remember, wait a minute, I have my Xbox 360 still.
Of course you do.
I hadn't played it in years. So I'm like, okay, I'll hook it up. And I got my controller. And the fucking controller doesn't have a battery thing on the back.
Of course, yeah.
And the batteries won't just sit there if you put batteries in. I had a battery pack, but it won't charge. I'm like, God, I'm so close. I can almost touch the screen.
Yeah.
And then I remembered, wait a minute, I still have my Rock Band guitar. So I'm using the Rock Band chart to navigate the menus to get the screen to look normal, because you plug it in and it goes component mode. I was like, shit. But there's something fitting about using a guitar to queue up a Spinal Tap DVD.
That's great, isn't it?
That was it was
Yeah,
fitting
it
and it
is
was
very
crazy, but it
poetic.
worked, and we got to enjoy
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
I need
yeah,
to watch. I haven't watched Spinal Tap the
Oh, so
film
good.
for
Yeah.
years, but yeah, I've got it. Where do I see
anyway,
Xbox in 10 years,
mention of
Fraser?
Xbox,
I don't know really. I feel like there will be another Xbox. I don't feel like this is going to be the last of the hardware because Microsoft are very interested in you staying on Game Pass.
Yeah, sure.
I think it'll just be a beefier one of what we got. I don't think it'll have a disc drive. I think that'll be gone because Alan
that's
Wake
probably true.
wasn't released.
Does
on
that mean
disc.
it could be a smaller box then?
Yeah, I think you know how the Xbox S is like a tiny box, really. You know,
Right.
it's gonna be sort of like that. It's gonna be like a DVD sort of size thing. You put it in, off you go. It's got some power, it's got some beef, and it plays your games. Like that's the limit with games. I know there's cloud gaming, but I still don't buy into it. I still.
We're really not there yet.
No, we're not there, and because we have to
don't have a
interact,
Netflix of gaming.
it's a two-way interaction of video games. So to send it back, the information back, and to send that back to you, there's just too much of a delay, and we're not there. Maybe we'll get there in 10 years, but I honestly think you still need some sort of hardware in your house in 10 years to play a game.
Probably.
And obviously in 10 years' time, they'll be even more fancier. So yeah, I still think there'll be a device. And I still think Microsoft will be around. I still think PlayStation will be around. And I still think Nintendo will be around. And Nintendo Nintendo is the weird kid in the corner of the classroom just doing its own thing. You know what I mean? Like they don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, and they're doing quite well with it.
Yeah. They're just like
absolutely.
you know,
Of course, I think predicting the future of computing has always been tough, as Professor Frink reminds us.
Frinkiac 7 looks impressive. Don't touch it. But I predict that within 100 years, computers will be twice as powerful, 10,000 times larger, and so expensive that only the 5 richest kings of Europe will own them.
Yeah, what he said. So that's what I see. What about you, Duke? Where do you see Xbox?
I mean, it's hard to say because I feel like PC gaming has plateaued in such a way that like they're designing, the big thing with PC in the past was like, and the big draw for a lot of people with consoles was, you have to have the latest stuff. You have to keep upgrading it. Like I said, my rig is 5 years old and it's still doing really well. So I think developers on the PC are realizing they have to make sure their game is accessible to people who don't have the latest everything, which is nice because it means I don't feel the need to constantly buy new shit.
Yeah.
So this idea of like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? I don't really even think about it much. I know that at some point, I mean, my PC died recently, probably because the hard drive just fell apart or it went bad or something, and I would hate to see that happen again, but I can just buy a new hard drive. It's really not that expensive. So I should upgrade. At some point I probably will want a better motherboard, a faster graphics card or whatever, but for now it's working great, and I don't really have any thoughts about like what Microsoft should do or what I want to see them do in terms of the console. I just want to make sure everybody gets to play games without having to spend a lot of money.
So there you go. Those are some questions on the Discord. If you want to join us, with some
thanks
questions
everybody.
on Discord, there's a little section saying questions for the show, so you can just put your questions.
We
in
love getting questions. So thank you to everybody who sent us.
Love it.
Okay, do we have emails?
Well, that means I'm going to have to check, and I don't know because I don't really do that situation.
I know we have a speak pipe. Should I play the speak pipe while you're checking for emails? Or you're going to wait?
Do the speak pipe.
Okay, I'm going to do the speak pipe, and then we can go back to email.
Speak pipe! It's the way to leave a message for us.
If anybody listening wants to send us a speak pipe, it's very easy to do. All you got to really do is do a Google search for Veteran Gamers UK and the phrase speak pipe. It'll bring you a link. You don't have to download anything. You can do it from your phone without getting an app. Just run on your web browser. It's very simple, and we love getting speak pipes. So this one is from a guy named Saint Diesel who sends us a bunch of speak pipes. We really appreciate it. He
loves it.
And it's a minute 30, so here we go.
Drugs?
Thank you. No, I'm straight.
I meant, are you in here for drugs?
Why are you here?
Drugs.
Hey, damn it! What is that? Oh fuck! I know that movie, but I can't place it. It's Charlie Sheen and a woman who. Oh, it's Ferris Bueller. I think Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Anyway, here we go.
It's Saint Diesel back again. I recently watched the Xbox developer showcase where they revealed more about the Hellblade 2 game, Senua's Saga, I think it's called. I did get the original game, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. I didn't finish it. I think I got about halfway through and got stuck on a puzzle. Never went back to it, but I may try and finish it before the new one comes out. But one of the big selling points, I guess is the right word, for the first game and seemingly for the second is about the audio, where there's voices all around you and supposedly in your head when you're playing the game, especially if you're playing with the headphones on. A lot of people were put off by that apparently in the first game, but they seem to be going pretty much the same on it in the second game, and it never really bothered me. But I was just thinking about audio in games, and I wondered, do you quite often play games without the audio? Maybe you're playing some music in the background, or maybe a podcast or something? Or are there some games which you always have the audio on, for ambient sound, the voices, sound effects, that sort of thing? And I think I'll just leave it at that until next time.
I don't know what the drugs part had to do with it, but I love it. Thank you.
I think
yeah, go ahead.
For, like proper games, like games where there's stuff going on, like obviously like Alan Wake 2 or Star Wars Survivors or anything like that, I would let the game play out as is. When I've played a game, when I sort of know the rhythm of a game, and I'm like, there's no audio for me to care about here. So one that I think of is Vampire Survivors. I'll listen to a podcast while playing that.
Does that mean you have no audio coming from Vampire Survivors, or you just don't need to focus on it so you have more than one audio thing?
Yeah, no, you can play Spotify through the Xbox on the app on Spotify. Yeah. So I usually do that. So you get a bit of both.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, some.
Because I can't imagine any video game that I don't want to hear the sound on. I mean, this is how ridiculous it is for me. The game Flow, when you finish a level, it plays a little sound of water, and I want to hear that. I want that feedback in my ears. But I was actually asking my students about this recently, and they were like, I was like, how many of you like to have the tapping sound turned on when you're using your phone for texting?
Oh, it's
and
off.
a lot of them were like, never. It's always off. I want it silent. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? No, I like that feedback when I hit the keys.
Mine is off. Yeah.
I don't use it. And same with taking a picture. I was like, you don't want the sound of the camera snap. They're like, no, what is it, an old camera?
My phone is never off silent. It's always on silent.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't know. But anyway, the most like games with stories and things, like I want to experience it as it is. But like say a game like Theme Hospital, I used to once after about a couple of hours and I'm sick of the song and stuff. I've got the rhythm of this game, and I think Jurassic Park Evolution, I sort of turn the music off, and so any game like that where the music's not really playing a big part.
And I have some playlists for like when I play Rocket League, I'll be listening to DJ mixes and stuff, and I like having the two monitors because then I can have the DJ over here, like actually watching them spinning at a festival or something while I'm playing Rocket League, which is stupid, but it's fun, so whatever. And then when I play MMOs, I usually have either like Enigma or Delirium or some other kind of vocal electronica type stuff with the sort of making it sound like a stylized version of medieval Europe or something going on. So
I liked your Red Dead playlists on Spotify.
Yeah, that was also fun.
When I was sort of addicted to Red Dead Online during lockdown and stuff. I remember playing that a lot because you're just sort of doing the same quests, like you've got to do this, you've got to do that. So like the actual sound of the game really didn't matter, but playing that playlist was really, really cool. I'd actually found some songs through that. So there's some cool songs.
Some good stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool.
SLH said I had to turn my tap keyboard phone sound off after my ex complained it was like being in bed with a woodpecker.
No, I can't turn it on.
It's pretty funny.
Okay. And Diesel, sorry, Mr. D. Sains said it sounds like Saint Diesel was rewatching Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So you were right.
Yeah, I got it right. What's up with them emails, Charlie?
We got emails. We got the emails.
Okay. Well, let me play the jingle then. some movement during the.
So we got an email from Jason, obviously. Thank you, Jason. We always love your emails. Yeah. So he says, American Nightmare. I just watched all 3 parts of the true crime show you talked about. Chinny and Duke, don't read this email. It contains spoilers. So I think this might be just an email to Stu. That's not supposed to be read out on the show. But yeah, I don't know. I won't read the spoiler. I won't read the spoiler because I've just read it.
Okay, we'll just skip over that little bit.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's weird. I went back to the Witness video game the other day, and since playing it, besides looking at shapes in my environment, I've been thinking a lot about perspectives. Some people will believe that their own idea of the truth forever, even though it's completely wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Thanks for the recommendation. I recommended before, but Undone on Amazon is amazing. I've been rewatching it. Might do TP The Return again. I don't know what that is. I don't know. True Detective was good with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. I broke my ribs and my finger, so I'm off for a few weeks. Makes me so jealous of retirees and teachers. Ha 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 ha. Other than my pain, time off is golden. The ribs are fractured up. I don't know if I should be running. I think like this is like a message to Stu. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you get well.
Well, that's a lot of what he does. Works in.
No, actually, stuff. I think this is that.
Oh, you think it might have been just wanted to send it?
So the subject is message for Stu. So, but I thought that was just like a, I don't know, just a. Sorry, Jason. I hope you get better. Sure. Like, I don't read out the parts about your genital warts, so that's fine. And also, I was reading. I
did a search, by the way, for TP The Return that may refer to Twin Peaks: The Return, season 3 of Twin Peaks.
Also, I was reading it and thinking, this is a really normal email. Like, why is?
Yeah, right.
That makes a lot of sense
because it wasn't for public consumption.
There you go. Okay, this is actually for the show from Jason. Okay. Hopefully, the veteran gamers have watched the Sony State of Play by now and properly decoded my massively incoherent email from last week. Only incoherent if you're a massive numpty. No. Good attempt from Mike Chim, but no cigar. I was pretty close. I mean, at least I knew what you were talking about. Glad you understood it was a message concerning the State of Play. Kudos for that. No offense, but you guys should play The Witness because your show is as cryptic as the stars. Yes, Death Stranding 2 will be better than the first one, it seems. But to be a full-on shooter, possibly. But when I'm referring to Judas, I was talking about the new game by Ken Levine, which I did say later in. By the way, Jason, I did correct myself about the, because he's saying that
I got off his back.
Well, I did get that wrong, but later on, about 10 minutes later, I did say it's the Ken Levine game. So shut up, Jason. Anyway, back to the email. The new game from Ken Levine, or whomever are the brains behind BioShock. BioShock getting a lot of love this episode, isn't it?
Oh man, this is the BioShock.
There's a game on Game Pass a lot like BioShock.
We should call this episode "Remember BioShock."
Remember BioShock. You should definitely go back and clearly read that email from last week and explain why it was so hard to understand. I type every email to you guys as if I'm writing to a 6th grader. I'll take it down to preschool.
Well, you need to make it to 4th grade. Yeah,
I'll take it down for you preschool for you poo-poo heads.
That's some nerve. Like, you need to go back and reread the email I sent last week. No, we're not going back to anything.
Can't go back.
Okay.
And don't believe the news you're hearing about Xbox. It's clearly a tactic to start a war with Sony. A surprise attack will follow, kind of like one of Duke's farts. Surprise attack.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jason. I'm sorry for reading the email that you didn't want to get rid of and making you look normal.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha. You're normal.
You're normal. Yeah. Those are the emails. Pretty much.
Okay. Thanks everybody for sending those emails.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to cover?
Don't think so.
We're gonna wrap this up here.
Don't think should we wrap it up? Yeah, we've been talking.
I was surprised. I thought we'd be done faster than usual, but we're at 2:13, and
I feel like that's always the way because you compensate. You're like, oh, somebody's off the show, so you talk more.
Exactly.
And you get.
I dug out some news.
And also, we have the chance to talk more because there's not a third person here.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And then you're like, oh, by the way, it's 2.5 hours. It's longer than usual.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. Well.
It's time for a shout out. Hey.
Let's do some shout outs and get the hell out of here. I gotta be up at crazy 4 tomorrow morning. Here, wait. I gotta do Stu.
Yeah. I'm gonna get out of
You
it.
know, listen. I just want to. Can I just say?
The Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll
Steam Deck.
Oh, this is good. I shared it to
Snort your deck. There's another title for the show.
Tid USD, who I found out is on Discord. I won't say your age, but a mature woman.
Okay.
She said that I don't have anybody to talk to about video games other than my daughter, who she texts apparently quite a lot. I read this. I can't.
Now you
find,
got all of us. So.
I can't find where she said that on the Discord, but she said that somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that was somewhere. But yeah, so
well, we're glad you found us, and we hope you get some time to hang out with us. Come to the show. Send us a speak pipe.
But they're a Patreon supporter, so thanks so much.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
How long have they been?
This January 25th.
Wow, and they're already shoveling us money, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But the good thing about being a Patreon is that you get nothing.
Well, they might get a shirt.
They might get a shirt, but the other people
after
that
like 6 months.
are due a shirt still haven't got a shirt. And I apologise because I've been getting messages from Matt Bond and who else was it, Deck and stuff like that. And I apologise. But I do get very, very, very. I like small stages of getting closer to it. So I ordered I ordered the things. I ordered the prints.
I made up the labels or something.
They're still not all in the same place. The press is there behind me. It's like someone's underneath, and then there's
we're working on it, people. Get off our backs.
I have very small windows of time where I can do these things. So yeah, I will get around to it. I promise. I haven't forgot.
Yeah.
So
well,
that's
thank
my
you, ma'am,
shout-out.
for being a part of our group. Yeah. I'll shout out Amar because he keeps sending me interesting things on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
One of them was about Vanilla Ice, which fuck off Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
But the other stuff he sends me is fun. And I just started another watch through of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I'm thinking about Amar a lot because we both obviously love that, as you do. And
well, I named my daughter after one of the characters. So
there you go.
Yeah.
That's not really the reason though.
It was one. It was up there. Yeah, it was up there.
Was it real? I guess I didn't.
Well,
we just
loved.
Okay, cool.
We were looking for names, and then we loved the character of Rosa Diaz. And
hey, it's a good reason.
And I think I don't know if we come up with it before or we saw. Oh, Rosa's kind of a cool name, and then
it's a great name. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was sort of spiraled from there, really. So
yeah, sure. And this is the first time watching it since Andre Braugher died, so that's a little bittersweet. But we watched Glory recently, and that's such a great movie, and he's great in it. So yeah,
and his character
it's good to see the
in
things.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine just gets better, doesn't it? In Brooklyn, like he starts off as the sort of strict, gay.
He is the
cop.
robot that.
And then he's
making fun
a lot of his character is about being a gay policeman, but then it gets sort of, I feel like a little bit more sophisticated in like it's about being a black person as well.
It is,
but then he gets more ridiculous, and he sort of starts to like Jake, doesn't he, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, well that's the sweet part. But I also love the fact that it's like they really lean into the I went nuts with my breakfast order this morning. It's like, oh yeah, what'd you have? I had oatmeal with raisins in it. It's just like plain water is my favorite.
Yeah, and it's like the prank, prank they play on his lectern, and it's like, well, I'll move it 6 inches to the left.
Oh my god!
It's your funeral. Yeah. And then he rings his husband, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll tell you about the rest later." Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, right. And then he's like, and the part I love with that, calling his husband is like, Jake and Amy can't make it tonight. I know you've already prepared 4 portions of rice. Well, you're gonna have to put 2 of them away.
Yeah.
So anyway,
brilliant.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Shout out to that show.
Yeah.
Shout out to SLH for being awesome and taking care of our Discord, and everybody in the chat, Mr. D. Sains and Ian, and
thanks to you, Duke.
Spacey's still hanging out
for trying the thick of it. I really do appreciate you trying it.
Yeah,
I really wish you would
stick
it out for a couple more seasons because they're only short.
I might go back to it. It's possible that I'll go back to it.
I understand it's very, very negative, but it's brilliant. It's so good.
I did appreciate,
nothing sums up that character more than the very first scene that he's in, where the minister is getting pressured from the press that he's going to leave, and then Malcolm says to the minister, "Don't worry, we're not going to get rid of you because of pressure." And then he says, "Oh, thanks, Malcolm." He says, "Yeah, but it's complicated because if we don't let go of you, then the press are going to think that we're weak." And it's the perfect summary of what Malcolm is about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I recognize the insight of it because that is what people in power are like. You know, they're and that's I realize too. This is the big difference between my job and that job, which is, you got to play the politics, so to speak. It's all about appearances, and that line about you, they know you said it, and they know you didn't actually say it, but when I say you said it and all that stuff, like that really is how the game works, and it's so ridiculous. But people don't have a choice. Like, you have to go through it. So anyway, like I said, I might go back to it at some point. We'll see.
You know, he's based on a real person.
In the meantime,
that Malcolm Tucker. Do you know he's based on a real?
Oh, I did not realize
the
that.
person in question denies it. He says, "No, I'm not like that." But
of course.
But there's a chap called Alistair Campbell. He's sort of like he's a bit of a teddy bear now. He just sort of shows up at premieres and doesn't really do much. I think he does a few radio shows and whatever. But back in the day when Tony Blair was in power, Alistair Campbell was that guy, and apparently he was
that guy.
He was
the fixer,
brutal.
And we had a guy here named Rahm Emanuel, who everyone said, he had sharp elbows, right? He was getting things done and, making you do stuff by, elbowing you and making it happen and stuff. I'm sure he's a right prick at the end of the day, because, you can't be a fun, soft person if you want to get stuff done in DC or Westminster or whatever it is. So.
So is Veep good? Because I think about watching Veep.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of it, you'll love Veep because it is the same basic concept. It's American, so there's going to be different parts of it.
But Julia Louis-Dreyfus, isn't it?
Yeah, she's great in it. And that's the thing. The performances are great. There's a lot of really talented actors in it. And we stuck that out, and that may be part of, if I had encountered Thick of It first, I might stick it out and then just decide not to go to Veep. But having seen where Veep goes, I kind of feel like I can tell where Thick of It's
It only gets worse, to be fair, Duke.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm sure that's part of the fun of it, is just seeing these terrible people get worse and worse and worse, which is exactly what happens in Veep. So, it may be, you might like it very much. There were things I liked about it. So yeah, I don't know. So I think those are my shout outs. Thanks again to Space Area and everybody listening. We love you, and send us a speak pipe or an email.
Cool.
We're done. Okay. Yeah.
All right, show's over. No refunds. You heard the robot. Get out.
Won't you? Won't you? Won't you? Why don't you? Why don't you just switch off the television set and go and do something less boring instead? Sitting at home, watch TV. Hey, love's no good to me. Why don't you? Why don't you? Go.
Susan in the chat says, I'm happy that we have another woman on the Discord.
Yeah.
Happy about that. Cody says, I miss Trump.
Well, then you're a very strange person, Cody. Because
so, what do we think of Duke? What do you think of all the? Because Biden was under a lot of fire on his memory loss and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're both very old, and neither of them really should be running for office.
How old is Trump?
Biden
How old is Trump?
That's a good question. Trump age depends on who you ask. 77. And then
Jesus
Biden
Christ.
is right. Biden is 81. So they're both right around the same age. And Trump is clearly not living on Earth, right? Like he just keeps going off on these random tangents about nonsense. But the difference is that, one of them tried to overthrow the U.S. government, the other didn't. So how anybody can be like, he should be back in office is just beyond me. Especially because as much as I don't like Biden, he's not terrible. And he's also not amazing. And, look, there's this court case that came up where people were like, the Democrats in Colorado wanted to kick Trump off the ballot for the primary because there's a clause in the U.S. Constitution that says after the Civil War, they put something in the Constitution that says if you've ever tried to lead an insurrection, you can't you can't hold office. So people are reading that as, well, Trump tried to have an insurrection, so he can't be on the ballot. And now it's going to the Supreme Court. There's going to be this big decision. It's going to have a big impact. And people are like, some people are saying, like, if they kick him off the ballot, there's going to be people taking up arms and there's going to be fighting in the streets and shit. if they told me I couldn't vote for Biden, I'd be like, okay, who else are we gonna do? What are the other options? Like, it's ridiculous that people have thrown their whole lives into this man's, thrall.
Yeah.
Like the people who went into the Capitol on January 6th. This woman, Ashley Babbitt, she was either in the Air Force or the Marines. Like, she was devoting her life to her country, and then she got caught up in this QAnon shit, and then she ended up dying for this man, and he couldn't give less of a shit about her. So don't get me started on all that. Yeah, I agree. I think, and here's the other thing I'll say about Biden's age. The Duchess works at a place called the Center for Aging Research and Education at the local university. And so, like, she's very attuned to and, passionate about fighting against ageism. So anytime people start making jokes about so-and-so's old and, that's the only joke you can make about a politician. That's weak, because old doesn't necessarily mean feeble and stupid and bad memory and the rest of it. But
it's pretty hard to defend, though, isn't it?
It's hard to defend Biden right now because he keeps fucking up in that way. And so she's
and falls
saying,
over every 6 minutes.
Well, there's that. Yeah, right. But to be fair, George W. Bush fell over once in a while, and he was, in his 40s or whatever. So it's not just age, but I do think that, it looks bad. And the craziest thing about it is that, like, he knew that he wasn't in the best place ever to, he wanted to be president. You don't go into politics without wanting to be president.
He's wanted to be president for like 50 years or something.
Of course. And he had, been vice president to Obama. So he was ready to go after Obama ran, or after Obama's second term ended, but his son had just died. And so he was like, I don't really want to do this now. I'm going to step back. And I think he was in a state where he was like, I'm just, I'm cool. I was vice president. I don't need to be president. But then this Trump thing happened. He was like, well, I can't, if that's going to happen, like, okay, I'm going to do this. And he, now I think it's probably the case. And again, there's got to be ego and lots of things going on with him. But I also think there's a part of him that's like, I beat him before, I can beat him again. And I don't know if anybody else could. So
you're telling me no one else can beat this guy? Look, no one.
I don't know what to think, to be honest.
Can't they just put up like a likable person up there? Is that hard?
Here's the thing, though. What you have to do is because let's say, okay, first of all, it's only like maybe 40% of the American population that vote, 60% that votes. 40% of Americans just stay home.
Right.
Who could vote, they just stay home. They don't, whatever reason. We can get into that.
I can see why.
So, well, right, that's part of it. But so of the 60% who do vote, you've got about half who are like, Republicans are death. And the other half who are like, no, I really, basically everybody's in their camps, Republicans and Democrats. And then you have this tiny sliver of people who are like undecided or independent or whatever. And so everyone's appealing just to them. So it's like corn farmers in Iowa and unemployed factory workers in, Pittsburgh and stuff. And it's this tiny group in a handful of states, because all the other Wisconsin is a swing state. So it's this, this is a battleground. And that's one of the things Hillary never did, was come to Wisconsin when she ran for office. So that was a mistake that Biden learned from. So the point is that, yeah, you could put a likable person up there, but, are they going to have the things that will appeal to that tiny group of people to get them to say, hey, this dude bragged about grabbing women's privates and tried to overthrow the U.S. government, so you should vote for this guy instead. And they're like, well, what about my taxes? Like, it's just like, holy crap. So it's really weird. I don't get it.
I just don't know how hard it is to just put up someone up on there that doesn't look like they're either dying or dead. Like,
I agree. And that's one of Biden's big negatives, absolutely. But his positives are such that they may carry the day. And it may be the case that, because think about, okay, who else could run? Kamala Harris was obviously Biden's vice president, but a lot of those people in that little sliver of the population are probably like, a woman, or a black person, or an Indian person, and in her case, she's all three. So, those are a lot of negatives for that population of voters, which sucks. Pete Buttigieg is Secretary of the Transportation right now. He's a shining star in the thing, but he's gay, and a lot of those people are like, a gay man, So it's just, again, you're not dealing with just your average voter. You're dealing with this tiny group of people who are really fragile and sensitive. And so I don't know.
Yeah.
And more than anything, this is the last thing I'll say about it, but like more than anything, I've lost a lot of respect for people who otherwise seem like decent. And I know everybody deep down is probably just interested in the same stuff. They want a better life for their kids. They want their traditions respected. They want to feel as though they can do what they want to do and all that. But so many people refuse, especially like other Republicans who are in positions of power. There are two who stood up and said, this guy has to go, Liz Cheney and Adam Fitzinger. And they've paid for it with their jobs. Like they can't get anywhere in the Republican Party right now because Trump is running it like a dictatorship. And so many other, Republicans in high-ranking positions have refused to say anything against him. And if they all stood up and said, absolutely not, this guy cannot run, then we would get somewhere. But they're all too chicken shit. So that just makes me sad.
Well, let's hope he...
For more exciting political discussion, tune into the Didactic Syncast.
Yeah.
Next episode will be coming out in about 7 years from now because I just...
you haven't done one for a while.
I should do one, but I haven't done one in a while. I should. I keep thinking I will, but then Saturday's coming. I'm like, okay, one day off. I don't feel like getting it now, so...
No.
Maybe at some point.
It's fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool.
I should go. Thank you very much, Chinny.
Yes.
And hopefully Stu will be back next week.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? All right.
We'll see.
All
right. Bye.
Bye.
Yep.